our yearly event. We can say that it is a day of celebration for all of us when we used to hear our own beloved and learned speaker, C. Satish V. Shanbhag sir. Friends, I must congratulate him to start with that his daughter has, stood first in her post graduation, that too from Mumbai University, I suppose. And it is a very, very pride feeling which every parent used to have when their coming generation, get more success than us. So I always feel very, very pride and very, a different kind of feeling we used to enjoy when our successor gets more success than us. So that kind of feeling I can imagine in the eyes and mind of Satish Anwar sir. So sir, second congratulation I must extend to Shanbhag sir, that after around 36 years of practice, he has launched a very good website. Up till now, I have not seen such kind of very simple, very, smooth website. Around last week, I was going through his website. Very, very decent website, very elegant website, I can say. Otherwise, people, feed lots of unnecessary things on their website, and we get confused. So, sir, that is the second aspect of congratulating you from all of us.
Yeah.
Third thing, which I also again, I want to congratulate you, that you are reaching to the you are reaching to 60 years of age, I suppose, maybe 2 3 years here and there, but you have maintained your youthfulness. That is also a very good thing which you could continue till your this age. So we are 12 13 years behind the schedule or behind you, but we will definitely copy you so that we can also be like that. Fourth thing which I like in you is that I admire you a lot, to be very frank with you. Fourth thing which I would like to say, that you are enjoying the life. You are not only focused on profession. You are good singer, you are good social person, you are good investor, you are good in
Thank you.
the profession. So these five, six things, which is a blend of life, that you are enjoying, and that is must. Only earning the money, only running the profession, or only, every time working and all, that is not the life. Life is a blend of so many things. So
Yeah.
we must learn these things from our seniors, and then after certain age we should gradually shift from the working or from the earning era to a different kind of earning, spiritualism or health related things. So these things must be copied by all of us, and we are very privileged that we have you, Shetty sir, Patil sir, type of seniors in our branch, who is the guide, who are the guiding force for all of us. With this brief good thing which I used to observe, I am sharing your profile. Your profile is very, very impressive, no doubt about it. Shanbhag sir is LLB, FCA and DISA qualified. He stood 8th rank in DISA, and I think his legal method or his legal knowledge, we always used to enjoy that, what kind of legal knowledge he has in income tax, especially in income tax act. He is practicing since 1984, so almost 36 years of practice he has today. uh, However, he has mentioned only 34 years, but 1984, I think almost 36 years of practice he has uh, done successfully. In these days, we must say successfully, because lots of difficulties are there in practice, and so if successfully we have completed, that is also a big achievement. He has presented papers and delivered lectures at international conferences. He always used to mention Bangkok. That is a good thing. National Tax Seminar and some regional conferences of WIRC, RRC. He is a co-opted member of Internal Audit Standard Board, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He is the speaker at Branch the Managers Taxation Training Program of Bombay Mercantile Bank, and he has his special focus was LLP, how to register, what are the tax benefits. I think we have learned so many things for LLP when it was enacted. Definitely, his biggest contribution towards our branch is that he is the past chairman of our branch and one of the pillar of our branch. He was the chairman in 2007-8 of our Navi Mumbai branch. He worked as a member of National Study Group formed by Accounting Standard Board of ICAI. He has appeared on Sahadri channel for various live program for 1 hour live program on income tax, and he has delivered lecture on All India Radio, contributed to the referencer manual of CA Institute. His LLP article was published in CA Journal as well, and socially he is very active member of Rotary Club of Navi Mumbai, Rotary Club of Rotary Club of Industrial area, and he presently also he's holding various positions, lots of charitable organizations he's taking care even on very position. So this is the only brief introduction which I'm sharing with you. However, beyond introduction, he is a man of beyond introduction. He is a man of beyond certain things. So we are very eager to learn again this tax audit subject, especially the title which has been given is do's and don'ts of tax audit. We are very thankful to you, sir, for accepting this work. Every year you shower your knowledge, your experience among all of us. We are really thankful to you. With this brief introduction, the today's moderator will be our beloved past chairman A.M. Shetty sir, who will take care most of the questions and who will try to always try to understand or try to make the clear the provisions of Income Tax Act, especially related to complex issue. So these two opening batsmen, I welcome you all from on behalf of Navi Mumbai branch to take care of this session. Thank you very much, sir. Shanbhag sir, no doubt, the dais is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. Thank you very much for that elaborate introduction. See, for me, being a chartered accountant practicing in Navi Mumbai, all the chartered accountants here, and more particularly all the past chairman and the current managing committee, they are like an extended family for me. And that is the reason why Santosh Sharma ji has made so many remarks about me. Thank you very much for that. At the outset, I must congratulate and thank entire managing committee, including Santosh ji, Rajendra Phadke sir, Sanjay Bhujbal, Srinivas, and Harshal Ajmera and Abhishek Shah, who are all working hard even in spite of this COVID restrictions to give best of the programs for our members. And the support of our past chairman, right from Patil sir and till the current chairman Santosh Sharma ji, about 12, 13 past chairmen what we have. Everybody has always been very supportive to me in whatever the presentation I have so far made or whatever little I could do for the branch. Thank you very much. I am extremely grateful to all of you. Friends, coming to the topic has been titled as Do's and Don'ts of Tax Audit, though we generally title it as Issue in Tax Audit. So I thought that we must not only know what we should do, we should also know what we should not be doing or where we must take extreme care not to make any errors, more particularly in the current era. The first thing you will appreciate that the government of India has imposed so much of confidence in the chartered accountants. And once Prime Minister Modi also mentioned that chartered accountant signature is more powerful than the signatures of even a Prime Minister. Which means the government has extreme confidence in the chartered accountant signature. And the public perception is that anything that is signed by a chartered accountant, any financial statement that is signed by a chartered accountant is of the highest value. And therefore, it becomes our responsibility that we must always stand up to the expectation of the government or the public at large, not only being only accountable to our clients. So this puts up onerous responsibility on us because particularly talking about the tax audit, we are talking about certifying true and correct position of the audit report that we are signing. And any errors or the mistake that we might do in our audit report will result in so many adverse consequences like there could be penalties, and there could be prosecution for the client for not filing of the return. And ethically, it is our job to deliver whatever it is expected from us. And particularly, I must tell you, friends, in the light of faceless assessment that are coming up, any mistake that has been done in the audit report, lot of artificial intelligence will be used to decipher the information that we are putting in the tax audit report, and it might automatically have adverse consequences. For example, if you make a small mistake of writing the method of accounting that is to be followed, like whether it is a cash system or a mercantile system, you interchange the things. Instead of writing mercantile, you write cash system. It could amount to picking up your case that, for example, if you write cash system of accounting, you cannot make any provision for expenses. And if there are any provisions of expenses found in your balance sheet, the artificial intelligence or this online system or this CPC or the software programs that have been designed, they automatically add those things, which possibilities were less in a manual assessment, where you are able to go and convince an assessing officer that this was a mistake done. We can file another tax audit report with a covering letter saying that this was an error in so and so clause, we stand corrected. Now, these things would be difficult in this online era. Therefore, not making errors and understanding what are don'ts for us in tax audit has become extremely important. I would request the chairman. Chairman, are you listening to me? Hello? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you, Shanbhag.
Yeah. Can you come on the screen, Shetty? I would be more comfortable if one or two of you are there, so that I would feel that I am talking to people.
Yes. I think the host has disabled us. So
just a minute. Bhagwat, please enable every this.
At least the panelist, if you are able to be on the screen, I would have an comfort.
Okay.
Yeah. There will be many senior chartered accountants in this webinar. Audience, I am not able to address them by their name, but I'm sure you are all there. And whenever you have any questions, we will have a question answer session. Please do ask your questions. Friends, I would just like to tell you how I am going about for the purpose of this webinar. What is my planning? Now it is 11:15, and maybe by 12:45, 1.5 hours, or maybe another 5 minutes less if possible, I will try to cover whatever I want to mention in relation to do's and don'ts of tax audit. In between, we will be having some case studies where I will request you to post your answers, brief answers like yes, no, you agree, you do not agree, something like that. I can give maybe a 10 seconds time for you, so that it will give you an opportunity to just ponder on that particular point and express your view, and then we will try and resolve those case studies. Now, what I'm going to cover, friends, is first of all, I will go for briefly what are the ICAI guidelines which are important for us to know in connection with the tax audit, due date and specified dates. Then I will go on to section 44AB, 44AD, 44AE, 44ADA, 44AA. These are the main sections which are relating to the tax audit, and there is an interplay between these sections as far as the tax audit is concerned. We will also discuss about the penalties and prosecutions related to violation of any provisions relating to the tax audit. And then we will go on and deal with some of the clauses in Form 3CD. I will not be able to deal with all 44 clauses. 44 minus 2 clauses are not operative, they are kept in hibernation. But 42 clauses, most of the clauses you have been dealing with every year. So there's no point in spending too much of time on each of these things. But some of the most important issues relating to the reporting in Form 3CD, I will be dealing with, and followed by that, you can ask questions on any points other than that I have discussed also relating to the tax audit. This is how the format we will follow. Chairman is fine? Okay. Now, friends, the first is regarding the communication with the previous auditor. The communication can be done with the previous auditor by a registered letter or in person or through an email which is registered with the ICAI or the last known official email ID. Suppose the client comes to you and tells you that he wants to change the tax auditor, And the first question you ask him is, who was your last auditor for tax audit? Assume he says that last year I was not in tax audit. We should not be rushing to feel that now there is no requirement of communicating with the earlier auditor. Please see the balance sheet and see whether any audit fees are outstanding over there. Because if there are any undisputed audit fees, the moment it finds place in the books of accounts and reflected in the financial statement at audit fees payable, it becomes an undisputed audit fees. And if this undisputed audit fee is not paid, then there could be problems. Therefore, you must tell him that even though he is not under the tax audit in the immediately preceding year, for whatever reason, maybe below the limit, and if he is in the tax audit in the year in which he expects you to do the audit, please get the NOC from him. Second thing is explanation to section 288. Section 288, as all of you know, defines accountant, where the old explanation was that an accountant means a chartered accountant within the meaning of Chartered Accountants Act. Now that has been an extension over there in the explanation, which talks about the disqualification of the auditor. All of us need to have a look at the explanation to section 288 of the Income Tax Act. Now there are two parts in this section. Part A is relating to the companies and part B is to the non-companies, that means non-corporate associates. As far as part A, which is relating to the companies, is concerned, where it is said that if an auditor is disqualified to be an auditor under section 141(3) of the Companies Act, he will be disqualified as well for the purpose of tax audit. That means if you cannot do the statutory audit, you can as well cannot do a tax audit. Now the Companies Act, if you go and see what are the restrictions over there, so many restrictions have been specified over there in terms of indebtedness, in terms of relation, etc. Suppose you are indebted to a company for an amount in excess of rupees 1 lakh, you cannot be an auditor of that company. Even the ICAI guidelines, which earlier was mentioning 10,000 rupees, with effect from 1st of July 2019, that is the financial year 1920 for which we will be doing the audit, the financial limit has been raised to 1 lakh rupees. Similarly, so many other factors which establish a sort of a relation between you and the company by which you are likely to be biased are all prohibited over there. In the sense, like suppose you are a proprietary concern of a chartered accountant, and if your relative is a director in that company, you cannot do the audit of that company. If you are a partnership firm, if any of your partners' relative is a director or an employee director in the company, you cannot do the audit. Likewise, so many restrictions have been put under the Companies Act to ensure the independence of the auditor. Now, as per the non-corporate associates are concerned, almost all these conditions which are there under the Companies Act, which disqualifies us from becoming an auditor, are also there as far as the non-corporate associates are also concerned, which has been specified in clause B of explanation to section 288. As I mentioned, clause A is relating to the company, clause B relating to the associates other than the company. One more important point that has been pointed out over there, that you should not be having any business relation with the company. What does this mean? Suppose a builder is a client, and if you buy a flat from him, that's a business relationship. So are you not allowed to become an auditor of that builder company? Answer is yes, you can become an auditor of that company. What the law talks about is, you cannot be having a business relationship with such company which is not at arm's length price. So long as the transaction with the company is at the arm's length price, then there is absolutely no problem for you to become the auditor of that company. Now, in the rules 51A, rule 51A of the income tax rules, certain types of businesses have also been specified, where your dealings with those companies should also be at the arm's length, like airlines, telecommunication company, hotel industry, and hospitals. These are the type of the assessees where there is a possibility that an auditor may get favored. Suppose that an airline is your client, then if they give you free ticket for you or your family for a holiday, then you cannot become an auditor of that company. If it is a hotel, you go for a free stay over there, it is not at the arm's length, it is not a business transaction, therefore you will become disqualified. So these are certain finer points which we must take into account and remember these things so that we are not caught at the wrong footing. Further, the council's guidelines, if you see, who cannot become an auditor. As you all know, internal auditor cannot become an auditor of the company. A CA in full-time or part-time practice cannot. Part-time COP holder cannot become an auditor. A person cannot be appointed an auditor, tax auditor of a firm or a company in which the relatives hold a substantial interest. Like that, so many so many things are there. Then a CA cannot accept more than 60 tax audits. The limit was earlier 45, they raised it to 60 because of the advent of technology, and things have become much easier. But in case your firm is a proprietary concern, the maximum number of audits that you can sign is 60. Auditors, please remember that if you have been a bank auditor, you have already signed a tax audit report of a bank, then your one audit is already gone. Balance 59 only are remaining now, and you are required to maintain a register showing the names of the assessees for whom you have acted as a auditor. So it would always be a good practice. Whenever you sign, please maintain a register and do write the name of the assessee for whom you have signed. Then if it is a partnership firm, then the 60 audit limit is per partner. Suppose that there is a partnership firm of 2 partners and one partner, together both the partners 60 is 120. That does not mean that one partner can sign 100, another partner can sign 20. No, it is qua partner. So every partner cannot exceed the limit of 60 individually. Now, if a proprietor of a chartered accountant's firm is also a partner in another partnership firm, then together as a proprietor as well as a partner, he cannot sign more than 60. Now, if you are appointed as a joint auditor of a company, suppose that myself and Shetty sir are joint auditors for XYZ Limited. For Shetty sir also it will be counted as one audit. For me also it will be counted as one audit. Even though the audit is one, then for both of us, one entry will get debited. So out of our 60 limit, one audit will go. Now, what are the exclusions as far as 60 limit is concerned? If you are an auditor of head office as well as the branch, it will be treated as one audit only. They are not separate. Even if there are 100 branches also, it will all put together, it will be one audit only. Now, if you are auditing more than one branches of the company, this happens in the case of banks. We get generally 2 or 3 branches of the bank. So all the 3 branches, 3 Form 3CA and 3CD you are signing, still together all of them will be treated as only one audit. And in case you are required to do the audit because you are not offering the minimum amount of profit or minimum percentage of profit under section 44 AD or 44 AE, then you are required to do the audit, but these audits will not be counted for the purpose of the limit of 60. That means it is 60 plus all these mandatory audits for violation of the requirements of those sections. Now we will come to understand what is the specified date and what is the due date. The word specified date, we are finding it under section 44 AB and due date under section 139(1). Now there is an amendment which says that in the explanation 2 to section 44 AB, it says specified date is 1 month prior to the date specified under section 139(1). That means whatever is the due date, always the specified date will be 1 month prior. Now, for example, in this year, government has extended the due date of filing of the return to 30th of November. So, as per explanation 2, 1 month prior to that, that is 31st of October will be the specified date. Now, this is bringing a lot of ease in understanding as well as administration of this law, because every year you know that the due date keeps on changing. So, as the due date will change, the specified date will automatically change, because there will always be a 1 month between filing of the tax audit report and filing of the return. So we need to file the tax audit report. If there is no extension as of date, if we talk, 31st of October is the due date for filing of your tax audit report, and 30th of November would be the due date for filing of our return. Now, what does section 139(1) says? Quickly, if you want to run through. In the case of corporate assessees, irrespective of their turnover, irrespective of whether they are it or not, they are required to file the return by 30th of November. In the case of non-corporate assessees other than the companies, if they are under the tax audit or if they are required to get their accounts audited under any other law. For example, LLP. An LLP is required to get its account audited if it's a turnover process 40 lakh rupees and the contribution received from aggregate contribution received from all the partners exceed 25 lakh rupees. It is so low the limit. So member partners contribution, if it comes more than 25 lakh rupees, the audit is compulsory. If you think about a partnership LLP where each partner puts say 50 lakh rupees and the business is just started and the turnover has not even crossed 40 lakh rupees in that year, still there will be an audit because they come under the contribution clause. Now, in case of a partner whose partnership firm is under audit, if the partnership firm, if it is under audit, then the partners will also get the same due date as the partnership firm will get. For example, if the partnership firm which is required to get its account audited under section 44 AB, they will be required to file the return by 30th of November, and accordingly the partner will also get the administrative reasons. Now, why this gap between specified date and due date is kept, as all of us are aware? Government wanted that whatever is mentioned in the tax audit report, or rather whatever the disallowances are shown under the tax audit report, they should get automatically auto-populated in the tax returns. Once you open the tax return after filing a tax audit report, for example, 43B disallowances could be there, 40A1A disallowance could be there, or under various sections, so many disallowances could be there, cash loans taken would be there. All these will get automatically auto-populated in your tax return. Now, it is a mute question as of now is, are you able to change what is getting auto-populated over there? This is a $1 million question because none of us have an answer. At least I don't have an answer for this question. Let us assume that there is an employer's contribution to the Provident Fund, where if you paid before the due date of filing of the return, that is 30th November, it is allowed as a deduction. But you are filing the tax audit report on 30th of October. At that point of time, that is not paid. Therefore, the auditor has mentioned that 43B has not been complied as far as the employer's contribution to the Provident Fund. Now, this will get auto-populated in your tax return. Now, in between 1st of November to 30th of November, during this period when you can file the return, if this has already been paid and then evidence is available, then are you able to delete this addition? Ideally speaking, it should be possible. But then, as of now, we do not know. If we delete that disallowance and say that it is allowable because it is paid, there will be so many other requirements of, giving evidences over there, maybe attaching the challan, or so many things have to come, which we are not having any idea. So my advice would be, please advise your clients that, don't keep anything pending where you are eligible to claim that deduction on the basis of the filing of the return. Please read it at least for this year, as you have to pay it before the due date of tax audit report itself. So there will be lesser complication, because this being the first year, we really do not know. Okay, now coming to the tax audit legislation, as you all know that we have 44AB, AD, ADA, AE, and also 44 for the books of accounts. Rule 6G talks about Form 3CA, 3CB, and of course the annexure to Form 3CA and 3CB, which is Form 3CD, which contains those 44 clauses. Then there are penal provisions under Section 271B, prosecution under 276CC, and Section 271J. This is the legislation which governs the tax audit, which we should be very mindful about. Now let us start with the first limb of our discussion, friends, 44AB, tax audit provision. There are 5 clauses over there, clause A, B, C, D, E. Now, if you see, the whole gamut of tax audit has been divided into 2 parts. One is where an assessee has a business income, another is a professional income. So that is what clause A and B is talking about, with a financial limit, which you are aware of. Now, if you see clause C, D, and E, these are all reference to the presumptive taxation. If you see clause C, it is talking about presumptive taxation under section 44 AE, BB, BBB. If you see D, it is talking about the professional income under 44 ADA, where there is a presumptive taxation. And if you see E, it is talking about 44 AD, where provisions of subsection 4 are applicable. So if you take an overview of this 44 AB, you will appreciate that the first 2 clauses are independently, one for business one for profession. And the last three clauses are in relation to the business of your truck, plying, hiring, leasing of your goods carriages, or it is a professional income under presumptive taxation under ADA, or it is talking about 44AD4, which we will discuss in detail, where the section 44AD4 provisions are applicable to you, then there is an audit. So this is the overall picture as far as the tax audit is concerned. Now, if you go back, if you go by the business income, the turnover limit is 1 crore or 5 crore with conditions. Either it is 1 crore, the moment you exceed 1 crore gross receipts, sales or turnover, you are liable to go for the audit. Or if your turnover exceeds 5 crore rupees, you have to go for tax audit. Now it is talking about the turnover, sales, gross receipts. These expressions are not defined under the Income Tax Act, but we have to go by the general meaning as well as the institute's guidelines as per the meaning of what is meant by turnover. To put it in a very simple layman's language, what is the difference between sales and the turnover? Sales means whatever your goods are sold or services have been sold, that is called as sales. Now, 44ADA is concerned, we should not be thinking about the sales, sale of services, because that is covered under profession. Therefore, it is generally means what you have sold, and turnover means in a business, apart from the sales, there could be so many other receipts, like you may get duty drawback or cash assistances, exchange fluctuations, scrap sale income, so many other things would be there. They are all aggregated together along with the sales for the purpose of reckoning the limit of 1 crore or 5 crore. Now I will explain under which circumstances 5 crore will be applicable, because applicability of 5 crore is dependent on certain conditions, which we will quickly go through after this slide. Now let's go to clause B, professional receipts if they exceed 50 lakhs. Here that word gross receipt is relevant, because gross receipt is relating to the profession only. Now what is meant by profession? For this purpose, you have to refer to provisions of section 44AA, which deals with the profession, and it talks about various professions like profession of medicine, profession of accountancy, legal profession, architecture, interior designing, technical consultancy, or any other specified profession. They have used there one more expression which is known as authorized representative. That means those people who appear before the tribunal, high government authorities to represent accountants and lawyers, because they are separately covered there in the specific. Apart from specified profession, there are notified professions also, which the government has notified, where it includes a whole lot of people like company secretaries, your cost accountants, then your film industry people, like the person who is writing the story, the person who is a director, the person who is an actor, the person who writes a lyrics, or a singer, or an assistant director, the whole lot of people over there. Only people who are not there in the profession is, on a lighter note, is an astrologer or a jadugar. Except these names, most of the professions have already been covered over there. And that is what we should understand when we reckon the limit of 50 lakhs. Now, you can go to the next slide. Yeah, let's now focus on this 5 crore limit, which has now come for the assessment year 2021. The plain reading of the section, friend, shows that the limit of 5 crores is applicable when following conditions are satisfied. A, aggregate of all amounts received in cash does not exceed 5% of the 5% of the said amount. 5% of the said amount. That means out of your total receipts during the year, your cash receipts should not be more than 5%. If your total receipts are 100, your cash receipts out of that should not be 5. That is 5%. That is what it says. That is condition number 1. And in between the two, there is a word and not or. Since and has been used over there, you have to satisfy another condition. What is that other condition? Out of your total payments, the payments in cash should not exceed 5%. That means if your payments are 100, your maximum amount of cash payments that are allowed are only 5. So if you satisfy condition number 1 and you do not satisfy condition number 2, then you will not get the 5 crore limit at all. Then you have to be satisfied with 1 crore and then you will have to get your accounts audited. Put it other way, a person who has crossed his turnover of 1 crore, as an auditor, your job is to check whether he is a protector for not getting his accounts audited up to the limit of 5 crores. That means it is between 1 crore to 5 crore issue. Now, if you want to check whether a client who comes to you and says that Sharma साहब ए साल मेरा 4 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है, मोदी साहब ने तो कर दिया है अभी 5 करोड़ का, मेरा फटाफट ऑडिट करो, मेरे को कोई टैक्स ऑडिट नहीं लगता है. Suppose he says that, then what you have to do is first we should all become 12th standard students to find out what are our receipts. We used to do in the 12th standard opening balance, amount received during the year, amounts paid during the year, and then the closing balance. This is what we were doing. The same exercise we have to do. Now you will see the words carefully here, aggregate of all amounts received. It does not talk about aggregate amount received by of sales. It says all amount received, which means both receipts which are of the revenue nature as well as the capital nature are covered over there. Similarly, all payments made. If you have given a loan also, that is a payment. If you have made an investment, that is also a payment. If you have purchased a fixed asset, that is also a payment. You have made an advance payment to your supplier, that is also a payment. Everything is a payment. Similarly, if you have made payment for your purchases, you have made payment for your expenses, everything is a payment. That means you will have to look at the cash book practically and see what are your total payments and see what is the cash component of that payment. That means cash account will show you what is the cash receipt and bank account will show you what is the bank receipt. Cash account will show you what is the cash payment. Cash account will also show, bank account will show you what is the bank payment. Now we will take an example here and understand these provisions. Now let's see part A here, calculation of 5% cash receipts and 5% cash payment. Part A, calculation of total receipts. How do you calculate the total receipts? Now here in this typical example, there were cash sales of 50 and there were receipts from the debtors in respect of a credit sale. Some debtor has paid 10 in cash and rest most of them were by check. So 850 has come by way of a recovery from the debtor. You have also taken a loan of 100. So your total is 1000. The total receipts are 1000. Out of that 940 is by check and 60 is by cash. Now below that you will see the total receipt is 1000. 5% of total receipts is 50. That is 5% of 1000. Actual cash receipt is 60. Have I complied with the condition? Am I going to get this benefit?
No.
The answer is no, because I cannot go beyond 50 being 5% of 1000, but my actual cash receipt is 60. Therefore, I am violating this condition and therefore 5 crore turnover limit is not available to me. Now I will come to the B part, calculation of total payments. Here cash payments and check payments are 300, consisting of 40 in cash and 260 in check. Payment to the creditors who are suppliers is 540. Loan payments are 60. Therefore, total is 900, consisting of 860 check and 40 in cash. Is the example clear?
Yes.
Now, the total payments are 900. 5% of 900 is 45. Actual cash receipts are cash payments are sorry. That is written as receipts. It is actually payments. The last line. The actual cash payments are 40. So my cash payments are less than 45. So I qualify here. But the problem is the word and. So you have to comply with both the conditions. Since one of the condition also if you are not satisfying, then you are not eligible. You can see the government's mind in drafting this section that they are completely intolerable as far as the cash transactions are concerned. That means our clients are well advised. If they don't want to go for the tax audit, they must exercise very strict control on their cash transactions, both in terms of cash receipts and cash payment. However, we must appreciate their problems also. In business, they cannot do the business looking at the tax auditor or government of India. They have to do the business looking at the practicality of the things. But may it what it is, maybe. But the message that this section gives is, you need not go to your chartered accountant for doing your tax audit if your turnover is up to 5 crores. But you cannot violate any cash transaction norms. If you don't violate cash transaction norm up to a limit of 5 crores, we don't want you to go to the chartered accountant. In fact, we were hearing that why we need chartered accountants to file our returns. Now you have seen this example. To understand this, for even chartered accountants, it requires so much of brainstorming, giving so much of example. And how an ordinary person will understand this? How he will be able to decide whether he has, when a client comes to Sharma Sahib and says that मेरा सिर्फ 4 crore का turnover audit करा दीजिए, and when he goes through the details, he finds these details. Then the client is to be made to understand that it is not only the turnover, there are so many other requirements which you have to comply, which you are not complying. Therefore, you will have to go for the tax audit. Am I clear on this? Okay. Thank you. Now, a couple of small additions to this point. If there is any cash deposits in the bank or cash withdrawal from the bank or interbank transactions, these entries should not be considered for the purpose of these payments and receipt calculations, because they are only contra entries and they are not in reality the part of total receipts or total payments. Another important argument is, in case of an individual whose tax audit you are doing, if that individual has introduced any capital, then it will also be a part of the receipt for our naked eyes. But the argument is that one cannot do any transaction with himself. When a proprietor brings in some capital into the firm, that money should not be added for the purpose of calculation of receipts, on the argument that a person cannot do business with himself, and therefore that is not the intention of law. Maybe there could be more than one views on this, but my view is that in the case of a proprietor who brings in capital, we should not be counting it for the purpose of total receipts. Can we proceed, Sharma sir?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Now, friends, we will come to the very important section, section 44 AD. First and the foremost thing I would,
Sir, while introducing cash by a proprietor, it will come into cash book. So cash receipts will definitely go up. So in that case, we should ignore that cash receipts. We can introduce the money by check also, by NEFT also. So what should be the...
No. See, basically the capital contribution by a proprietor does not form part of this calculation. Whether it comes by a cash or a check or an NEFT is a different thing. There are different laws for that. Introduction of cash and all that, we have to deal with it separately. But for the purpose of calculation of the turnover limit, when we talk about the total receipts should not include the transaction done with himself. So he is introducing the capital, means he is bringing his own money into his account. It is not coming from any external sources.
But similar concept will be applicable for partnership firms also.
No. Partnership firm, this will not be applicable, because partnership firm under the income tax is an independent assessable entity compared to its partners. Partner is an individual. Partnership firm is a firm for the purpose of taxation. Therefore, any partner bringing money into the partnership firm, there it will come. It's a very good question which I did not deal. It will definitely come within the calculation of total receipts.
Okay, but partners and partnership firm are not two separate.
Yes, exactly. That is the reasoning. That is the reasoning why it should be included there, but for the proprietor it should not be included. Okay.
Sir, if you will permit, we can discuss some important questions in between also.
Yeah. Because small questions we can deal there and there itself. There is no problem. Please do ask me. Okay, friends, as far as 44 AD is concerned, the first and the foremost thing which I want your attention to be brought to is, you need to read section 44 AB first very clearly before we read 44 AD, because 44 AB in the proviso it says that if an assessee wants to opt for, they have not used the word opt, but it says that if you want to go for the provisions of section 44 AD, section 44 AB will not be applicable to you. Meaning thereby, going to 44 AD is only optional. It is not compulsory. Therefore, don't be under the impression that the moment your turnover is below 2 crores, you have to offer 8% tax. No, not at all. It is your option whether you want to go under 44 AD or you want to remain under 44 ABA. It is your option. This is point number 1. Now, 44 AD, as all of us know, couple of small things we need to know for the sake of revision. Number 1 is the turnover limit is 2 crores. The people who are having a person doing the business who is having a turnover gross receipts or turnover gross receipts or sale in excess of 2 crore cannot opt for 44 AD. Okay, and the minimum profit that is required to be offered is 8% or 6%. 6% where your transactions are completely free from cash transactions. You should not have any cash transactions if you want to offer only 6%. 100% of your transactions should be the check receipts. This 5% limit what has been specified at the 44AB, which we just now discussed, has nothing to do with this. So please remember that those who are venturing into offering only 6%, considering that, you know, my entire transactions are by check or NEFT or DD, all, you know, a permitted transaction, I'm offering 6%. They need to remember two things. Number one, 5% cash limit which has been specified under 44ABA not applicable to them. Number two, they have to see the receipts not only up to 31st of March 2020, but before the due date of filing of the return. During that period also, they should not have received anything in cash. Everything should have been in check. Please read these provisions very carefully. The idea is you might have received everything in check up to 31st of March 2020, but in respect of your outstanding as on 31st of March, some of the payments if you have received in cash subsequently, you are not eligible for 6%. Therefore, before opting for 6%, one has to take extra care to understand the provision, number one. Number two, as you all know, once you opt for 44AD, you are not eligible to claim any other expenses. Everything is deemed to have been allowed to you because you are allowed actually 92% of your sales gross receipts as the expenses. Only on 8% you are paying the tax. Depreciation also is deemed to have been allowed to you. All these provisions are there under 44AD. Now, in subsection 6 of 44AD, which is very interesting, it says that provisions of section 44AD are not applicable to a person carrying on the profession referred to under 44AA1. 44AA1, just now I mentioned to you that profession of accountancy, profession of medicine, architecture, interior design, so many things I mentioned. All these professionals are specified under 44AA1. If you are a professional falling in that category, then you are not eligible to go for section 44AD. So the words used, please note carefully. Person carrying on profession. If you are a person carrying on the profession, then if you have a business income, you cannot go for 44AD. That is what it says. We will go for a case study on this little later to make this more clear. Then any person, repeat, any person earning commission or brokerage income, because a person who earns commission or brokerage income, you cannot expect that he is having 92% expenses, isn't it? It may be an insurance commission, or it may be any commission relating to bringing orders for any businessman, or whatever it may be, or it may be brokerage relating to the property transaction, whatever type of commission or brokerages you have, there you cannot offer 8% because it is specifically prohibited. Such persons cannot go under 44AD. They have to go under the 44ABA if their limit is exceeding the limit stated over there. If the limit is not exceeding the limit, then you prepare a profit and loss account and balance sheet, file form 3, ITR 3, and be happy. So you cannot go to 44AD. Then person carrying any agency business. What is meant by agency business? An agent does not own the transaction. He is only acting as an agent. Suppose that I am an agent of Times of India, Bonnet Column and Company, and I collect advertisements in NAVI, Mumbai from various people and gives those orders to Times of India. Times of India gives me 15% commission. So I am an agent of Times of India for getting their advertisements. So if this is my role, there also I cannot offer under 44AD. I have to go either under 44ABA if my limit crosses the monetary limit specified over there, or prepare a profit and loss on balance sheet and file a normal return. Is this clear?
Sir, here one doubt is there.
Yeah.
Told that if the profit is 6%, if total banking transaction, all transactions are through banking channel,
yes,
then only you can opt 6%. But in
6%.
6%.
Yes.
If your profit is less than 6%, then you have to go for the tax audit, right? I'm talking about the transactions, all transactions of bank through banking channel.
Okay.
But there are certain situations where turnover is less than 2 crore, less than 1 crore, but 6% and 8%, both clauses are applicable. For cash transaction, it is 8%.
6%.
For other than banking channel, it is 8%, or through banking channel, it is 6%. then also I suppose tax audit is not applicable. So entire transaction, entire banking transaction need not to be 6%. I think, am I clear or not? Because it's a blend of transactions. Some are in cash, some are in through.
No, if it is a blend of transaction, you are out of 6%. You have to be at 8%. Even if one single transaction is in cash, then you lose the benefit of 6%. 100% of your transactions has to be by check, both receipts as well as payment.
Okay. Right.
We have an example case study. I will explain more on that. It will be clear when figures are in front of you. Okay. Now, it also talks about eligible assessee. Who are allowed to, which of the assessees are allowed to be going to 44AD and which of the assessees cannot. An individual can go, an HUF can go, and a partnership can go. Only these three types of assessees are allowed to go under 44AD, which means even an LLP cannot go under 44AD. The reason is, I already mentioned that LLP Act governs maintenance of books of accounts and audit in certain circumstances. Similarly, Companies Act also, irrespective of the turnover, you are required to maintain the books of account and get them audited. Therefore, these are the entities which are not covered over there, only individual HUF and partnership. And those who have claimed any benefit or deduction under 10A, 10AA, 10B, 10BA and various deductions under clause heading C of Chapter 6A, they are also not eligible, because government want to see whether they are really eligible for all these deductions, whether they have complied all the conditions or not before claiming this. Therefore, they are not allowed to take the benefit of 44AD. And the last one and the third one, which is also important here, is the turnover limit of 2 crore to hai hai. Uske alawa, any business other than business of plying, hiring or leasing of goods carriages referred in section 44AE, eligible business, he says, is the business of plying, hiring, leasing of goods carriages referred in 44AE. The reason is, the moment you are a person falling under 44AE, which means you are having less than 10 goods carriages, then you have to go under 44AE. And if you don't go over there, then the tax audit will be applicable to you under 44AB. Is that clear? Yes. All businesses are eligible, other than in the first clause we have mentioned that professionals cannot, commission brokerages cannot, and agency business cannot. These are the persons who cannot go under 44AD. But other than this, all other businesses are allowed, सिवाय 44AE वाले. ट्रक ऑपरेटर वाले जो हैं, उनको 44AE में ही जाना है अगर उसका कंडीशन उधर सेटिस्फाई करता है. जैसे कि 10 ट्रक से ज्यादा उसका नहीं है, तो he has to go for 44AE. And if he does not agree to go for 44AE, then he has to go for the audit. So this is the gamut of 44AD which you should be carefully understanding. Is there a question there? Yeah. Can a non-resident opt for 44AD?
No.
What is your answer?
He cannot.
He cannot. I would also love to get the answers from the participants, because this interaction is not only on the panelists. Please be free to write your answers in the chat box. Okay. Yeah, because 44AD is applicable only for the residents. Wherever 44AD starts, it talks about the resident only. Therefore, non-residents are not allowed to go for 44AD. Now, one important clause under 44AD4 and AD5 on presumptive taxation, which you would have to understand, is that suppose an assessee has opted for 44AD, offering 8% or 6% as the case may be. Once he opts for it, he cannot come out of that for a period of 5 years. So there is a restriction that you have to remain inside 44AD for 5 years. Now, in case you say that अभी हमारा profits बहुत कम हो गया, पहला 8% हुआ करता था, अभी बहुत competition बढ़ गया, only 5% profit is there, I cannot afford offering 8%. If you say that, then you are coming out of 44AD. The moment you are coming out of 44AD, there are two consequences. Number one, you cannot get into 44AD again for next period of 5 years. That means 5 years after the first year in which you opt to come out of 44AD, which actually becomes 6 years. The year, suppose that, let's take for March 2019, a person was under 44AD. He offered 9%. अभी मार्च 2020 का जो 19-20 का साल है, तब वो आपको आके बताता है कि सर हमारे पास इतना प्रॉफिट है ही नहीं है, हमारे पास 5% ही प्रॉफिट है, तो 8% मैं नहीं दे सकता हूँ ये साल. Okay, fine. If you cannot do that, then provisions of 44AD4 are applicable because he has opted out of 44AD within a period of 5 years. That means उसका 5 साल हुआ नहीं है, 44AD ऑफर करने को चालू करके 5 साल हुआ नहीं है, इसके लिए 5 साल का पीरियड का जो रिक्वायरमेंट है, he is not complying, and therefore 44AD4 will be applicable, and there are two consequences. Consequences number one is he cannot get into 44AD for another period of 5 years, counting from the year next to the year in which he first starts coming out. That means March 2020 में अगर वो पहली बार बाहर आता है 44AD से, उसके बाद के मतलब 21-22 से लेके अगले 5 साल तक वो वापस अंदर नहीं जा सकता है. नंबर वन. नंबर टू, उसको बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट मेंटेन करना पड़ेगा और ऑडिट भी कराना पड़ेगा. Therefore, people who are already under 44AD4 has to be extremely careful of the consequences. I told you two things. Please remember this. 44AB says that going to 44AD is an option for you. Nobody is forcing you. It is your option. आपका 2 करोड़ तक का टर्नओवर है, 1 crore 90 lakhs का टर्नओवर है, तो 44AB में तो आपको ऑडिट कराना ही है. It was your choice that you don't want to go for an audit. You want to offer your profit at 8% under 44AD, so you went inside 44AD. Once you went inside 44AD, आपको 5 साल तक बाहर नहीं आ सकते हो. उसके पहले आना चाहते हो तो बेशक आ सकते हो. आप बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट मेंटेन करो और ऑडिट किया करो और अगले 5 साल वापस अंदर मत आओ. This is the message that 44AD4 and 5 says. Any questions on this?
There is a question, if there is a truck operator,
yes,
having less than 10 trucks,
yes,
and he want to show more than 8%, then whether he has to do audit if not opting for 44AE. He has less than 10 trucks.
Yes.
The query is little twisty, and he says he want to show more than 8%.
Yeah, go to the other.
Then whether he has to do audit if not opting for 44AE.
Yeah, thank you,
8% is not applicable to him. Yes.
Yeah, Shetty sir, thank you. Good query.
Yeah.
What Shetty sir is saying is, I am having 8 trucks, for example, less than 10 trucks. So I am an eligible person to go under 44AE. So 10 trucks से ज़्यादा मेरे पास नहीं है. So you are getting your accounts audited over there. Am I right, Shetty sir? You are getting your accounts
he's referring to
audited
8% profit, which is little confusing. I mean, what he says is that he has less than 10 trucks and want to show more than 8%. Then whether he has to do audit if not opting for 44E. The answer is yes, he has to go for audit.
He has to go for audit.
8% profit is not, a criteria to be decided. Whether it is 1,000 per tonnage or 7,500 per, goods vehicle.
Yeah.
That is what he has to see.
No, another reason I am telling is, if you see on my screen now, any business I have highlighted, any business is eligible other than people operating carriage referred in 44AE. That means the people referred in 44AE means 10 truck से कम वाले हैं. उनको 44AD में एंट्री ही नहीं है.
No.
एक तो आप उधर 7,500 रुपया या 1,000 रुपीज टन का जो भी उधर नियम है उसके हिसाब से आप टैक्स भरो. नहीं भरना चाहते हो सीधा 44AB में आ जाओ, टर्नओवर लिमिट के हिसाब से ऑडिट कराओ. That is what it is. Next. Yeah. Now a question here is, can a partnership firm opting for section 44AD claim separate deduction of remuneration and interest? Any answers? I'll give 10 seconds. Please answer. A person is under 44AD. It's a partnership firm. Now, after calculating 8% profit, whether he can further claim the remuneration and interest?
No, sir, we cannot claim.
No,
We cannot.
that is 8% is after interest and remuneration.
Earlier it was allowed, but I think
Earlier, before the pre-amendment under the 44AD, it was allowed, and subsequently they have withdrawn. Now they have to. They cannot claim remuneration and interest out of 8% profit. The 8% profit will be the taxable profit. Of course, Chapter 6A deductions and all that, as all of us claim, they are also eligible to claim. Now we come to the professions. Okay. Now, what does the 44ADA says? 44AD is relatively a new section which was brought for the professionals. to reduce their tension of maintaining the, getting the accounts audited and all that. Government said that ठीक है भाई, आपका अगर gross receipt 50 लाख के नीचे है तो ऑडिट बिडिट मत कराओ, लेकिन 50% प्रॉफिट के ऊपर टैक्स भरो. Now the question is whether a professional has a 50% receipt. This is the question. This question is a very relative question, and generally our experience is, even in the case of a profession, nobody is showing profits below 30-35% or 40%, but 50% हो सकता है depending upon the nature of the profession. Now probably suppose you are a specialist doctor, you only want 1 or 2 people in your clinic, and you don't have too much of a setup because you are an expert advising on what is the medical treatment. There उसका तो 20% भी नहीं होगा. वो एक पेशेंट को देखने के लिए 3000 रुपया लेता है 10 मिनट तक ले. Possible that they can easily pay 50% profit, but may not be so. Maybe whatever it is, the law says that if your turnover is up to 50 lakh rupees and if you are offering 50% of your gross receipt as profits, then you don't require to get your accounts audited. But if the profits are less than the deemed profits and the income is greater than the maximum amount not chargeable to tax, एक condition है इसमें कि अगर deemed profit आपका non taxable limit से नीचे है तो आपको ऑडिट करने का जरूरत नहीं है. Can you go back to that first slide where those 44AB वाला 44AB का first slide? Yeah, friends, if you see here, इसकी तरह हटा. If you see here, A, B, C, D, E में A, B को छोड़ दीजिए, C, D, E में एक और कंडीशन है कि आपको ऑडिट तब लगेगा जब आपका इनकम इज अबाउट द नॉन टैक्सेबल लिमिट. आपका जो डीम्ड प्रॉफिट है, इट हैज टू बी मोर देन द नॉन टैक्सेबल लिमिट, तभी है. मतलब समझो आपका नॉन टैक्सेबल लिमिट 2.5 लाख रुपया है एंड ए डीम्ड कैलकुलेशन करने के बाद 2.5 लाख से नीचे अगर आपका प्रॉफिट आता है तो आपको ऑडिट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. एंड दैट इज applicable in the case of clause C, D and E only, not in clause A and B. इसका मतलब यह है जिसका 1 करोड़ का ऊपर का बिजनेस है, उसका नेट प्रॉफिट भले 2 लाख आए या 1 लाख आए, उसको ऑडिट कराना ही है. उधर वो लिमिट नहीं है कि तुम्हारा नॉन टैक्सेबल लिमिट के नीचे इसके लिए ऑडिट नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं है. वो ऑडिट इज बेस्ड ऑन द टर्नओवर लिमिट. देयरफॉर इन द केस ऑफ अ बिजनेस, द मोमेंट योर टर्नओवर इज अबव पर्टिकुलर लिमिट, you have to get the books of accounts audited, and what is your ultimate income उसका कोई मायने नहीं रखता है, प्रोफेशन भी मायने नहीं रखता है. Only in the case of the deeming provision where you are applying, and if your profit falls below the non-taxable limit, then you need not go for tax audit. Is that point clear? You'll see the difference over here in the first 2 clauses and the last 3 clauses. This minimum profit requirement in comparison with the deeming profits is applicable only in the case of 44AD, 44ADA and 44AE. Chetty sir?
But sir, this is only possible in case of individual. I think for partnership firm there is no threshold limit. So in that case, what will be the scenario?
No, where there is no threshold limit, आपको ऑडिट नहीं कराने का है,
नहीं,
टैक्स तो भरना है.
पार्टनरशिप फॉर्म
ये टैक्स ऑडिट के लिए है. ऑडिट एप्लीकेबल है कि नहीं ये डिसाइड करने के लिए है. आपका पार्टनरशिप फर्म है और सिर्फ 2 लाख का प्रॉफिट है, आप 30% 2 लाख के ऊपर भरो, ऑडिट मत कराओ. You understand? If that partnership firm is under 44AD and it is offering 8% profit, 8% प्रॉफिट ऑफर करने के बाद समझो उसका आया 2 लाख रुपया, जो 2.5 लाख से नीचे है, ऑडिट क्यों कराना है उसको? नहीं कराना है.
सर नहीं, my question is little different. See, in case of partnership firm, there is no basic exemption limit. So in that case, suppose his turnover is less than 1 crore and he is showing loss, or he is showing say 10,000 rupees as a profit. He is required to get audited or not?
He has to get audited because उसको non taxable limit नहीं है.
However,
Correct.
in case of individual, it is possible. He can show.
Correct.
He can show little less profit.
Yes, Sharma ji, agreed. You are right. Go ahead.
Shanbhag, there is one question. This is from Rituraj Jaipuriya.
Okay.
If an SSC is having major income from eligible business and has minimum income from agency commission, can 44AD be applicable to him?
No.
No.
Rituraj, good question. But the thing is, there is no distinction between major income and minor income as such. It's subsection 6 of 44 AD says, the moment you are in the business of a commission or an agency business, whatever it is, you are not eligible to go for 44 AD at all. Therefore, you will have to go under the regular 44 AB section and offer it for tax audit if you are above the limit.
No, or he can go under ITR 3, Shanbhag, if the turnover is less than one crore.
Of course, everyone can
can
do
file
that.
ITR 3.
Whoever has a turnover of below 1 crore, they can either prepare their books of accounts, balance sheet, profit and loss account, file ITR 3 and forget about it. It is allowed for everyone. As I repeatedly said, that going to 44 AD is an option. 44 AD में जाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, लेकिन 44 AD में जाने का एक थ्रेट है. एक बार आप अंदर गए तो बाहर आते वक्त आपको केयर लेना चाहिए. मतलब you should be very sure, you should advise the client कि जो साल में वो बोलता है मैं 8% ऑफर करके ऑडिट नहीं कराना चाहता हूँ, उसको बोलना चाहिए तुम्हारा कंसिस्टेंटली 8% आगे भी देने का विचार होना चाहिए या सर्कमस्टेंसेस होना चाहिए. अगर विचार नहीं है, सर्कमस्टेंसेस नहीं हो सकते हैं तो अभी सोच लो. That should be the advice.
So there is one practical question. Can I ask about this right now?
Yes.
In this presumptive taxation, if someone opted for presumptive taxation for 2-3 years, like you said in your previous example that for 4 years he opted for presumptive taxation and for 5th year he failed to offer some other reason. So as you said, there is only penal provision is like for next 5 years you have to carry with the audit and you can't go back to the presumptive. My question is, what about his previous 4 years? For previous 4 years, he income tax department will assess him for presumptive only, or there are any retrospective penal or other?
No. There are no retrospective consequences. As I said, there are only 2 consequences.
Yes.
Consequence number 1 is you will have to maintain the books of accounts and get it audited. Consequence number 2 that you cannot get into 44 AD for another 5 years. That is actually 6 years. A साल और उसके बाद का 5 साल. ऐसा law में लिखा हुआ है.
One additional question to that same question, that in case for future 5 years he compulsory has to go for normal tax audit provisions.
Correct.
And it is exaggeration of a situation actually. In future, suppose he means for some reason he could not attain a turnover, and again after 1 or 2 years gap, again he start a business. Whether that middle period is counted for 5-year limitation.
Middle years are also normal years. Maybe he does not have any income. He is filing nil return. No, if he is not.
Okay.
5 years only.
Thank you very much.
Shanbhag sir, good morning.
Good morning, Srikanth.
In continuation with the Santosh query, the partnership firm is having turnover of 60 lakhs. Say the firm is in the business, and the firm is earning a loss after interest and remuneration to the partners. Then whether they are liable for the audit in case of the loss?
Yes, I think so, yes.
Partnership firm will be required to get it audited because they don't have any non-taxable limit. That's what we discussed.
Yeah, but
the same is not case in the case of an individual, because if his taxable profits are below non-taxable limit, 2.5 lakhs as the case may be, then he need not go for the audit.
Yes, sir, but there is one view that in case of the partnership firm, when there is not threshold limit, then that section talks about the positive figure and not talks about the negative figure. So the loss is the amount which is less than the taxable income, or say 1 rupee, and so that audit is not required. This is also one of the
views. There are many views. We also have a view.
So,
anyway,
no,
we can deliberate more on that because a lot of things to be covered. I will, with your permission, I will proceed. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Particularly,
Shanbhag, there is one question. I will just intervene for a minute.
Yeah.
If a consultancy firm has turnover less than 50 lakhs
and
has a loss
I will
or
have
profit.
one request because I have 5 case studies.
Okay, I think we will go there.
After the 5 case studies, now next question, lot of questions will take. Okay. Now 44 AE. The eligibility criteria is 10 vehicles next, and the profits offered should be, in the case of a heavy vehicle, it is 1000 per ton of gross weight or unladen weight, And in the case of other vehicles, it is 7,500. You are all aware of this. Only I want to highlight to you, friends, what is meant by gross weight and unladen weight. Now, gross weight should not, if the gross weight is above or the unladen weight is about 12 tons, the law says if the gross weight or the unladen weight exceeds 12 tons, then it will become a heavy goods vehicle. And in other cases, it will become a non-heavy goods vehicle. Now, only the question was, what is meant by gross weight and what is meant by unladen weight. Now, gross weight is the weight of the truck plus the सामान उसमें जो भरा जाता है, उसका दोनों का total जो है, वो gross weight है. तो ये 12 टन का जो लिमिट है, for that we have to consider वो धर्म कांटे के ऊपर जो ट्रक चढ़ाते हैं ना, जिसका वजन आता है ट्रक का और उसमें भरा हुआ माल का, उसका एक ग्रॉस वेट का एक नियम होता है अंडर द मोटर व्हीकल एक्ट. प्रॉब्ली इट इज रिटन ऑन द ट्रक ऑल्सो, व्हाट इज द ग्रॉस वेट दैट द ट्रक कैन कैरी, वो लिखा रहता है. तो if it is about 12 crore, I mean 12 tons, then it is 1,000 rupees per ton per month. That means अभी समझो हम लोग एक 15 टन का गाड़ी का बात करते हैं, तो महीने का 15,000 रुपया उसका इनकम होना चाहिए, मल्टीप्लाइड बाय 12, that is 1,80,000 rupees उसका इनकम पर ट्रक हो सकता है. Now what is meant by unladen weight? There are certain vehicles where you are not putting any weight, like road roller and ट्रैक्टर्स, उसमें कोई हम लोग वेट डाल के नहीं जाते हैं. ट्रैक्टर के लिए शायद वो एक उसको ये लगाया रहता है, अटैचमेंट ऑफ कैरेज लगाया रहता है, बट इट इज नॉट इनसाइड द ट्रक, आई मीन ट्रैक्टर इटसेल्फ. सो उन व्हीकल्स को अनलेडन अपने को गिनना चाहिए. इफ देयर अनलेडन वेट इटसेल्फ इज अबाउट 12 टन, देन ओनली द 1,000 रुपीज पर टन का नियम उसको लागू होगा. अदरवाइज इट विल फॉल अंडर 7,500 पर मंथ. Now, the same question I am repeating again. I mean, in case they don't offer at this rate, tax audit and maintenance of books of account should be compulsory, which we all know. Now, the question is whether in the case of a partnership firm, which is in the business of this goods vehicle, interest and remuneration is allowed. The same question which I asked earlier, I am repeating the same question. You said in case where you are going for a presumptive taxation under 44 AD, partners remuneration and interest is not allowed separately. Now, is it the same case for 44 AE also? What are your answers? Please put your answers.
No, it is not applicable for 44 AE.
44 AE it is not applicable. ट्रक वालों के लिए गवर्नमेंट का बहुत बड़ा कुफा है.
I think so. I don't remember the provision, but what I have.
No, it is not. They are allowed to claim interest and remuneration. Truck people can claim it, but other businesses they cannot claim. We will proceed. Okay, friends, these are a couple of case studies. One case study we already did for 5 crores thing. Now, second case study is, it is the first year of business. Turnover is 75 lakhs. And he has opted for section 44 AD. Whether tax audit is applicable? Turnover is 75 lakhs, which is within the limit of 2 crores, and he has opted for 44 AD. Therefore, tax audit is not applicable. Okay, is this clear?
Yeah, requesting participants to answer in chat, please.
Yeah. And I would request panelists not to answer it.
Please answer yes or no.
I would request panelists not to answer this, so that participants can also answer. So the first query, first case study is first year वाला is clear. आपका 2 करोड़ से नीचे टर्नओवर है, तो आप 44 AD में जा सकते हो. 44 AD में जाओगे तो आपको टैक्स ऑडिट नहीं है. As simple as that. Okay. Second year, now the turnover is 90 lakhs and net profit is only 5%. He says that the profit is not 8%. I am not able to offer now because इधर तो आपको 8% देना पड़ता था. Turnover when 75 lakhs है, you opted for 44 AD means you have paid 8% or 6%. Now he says that my turnover in the second year is 90 lakhs and the net profit is only 5%. Whether tax audit is applicable? Yes.
I am interfering you.
Yeah.
you have to press upon that is a first year of business. That is why there is no 44 AD. There is no audit. Just clarify, because people are saying tax audit is applicable.
Chat box, we are not able to see.
In the first year,
Huh.
the business is 75 lakhs, and he has opted for 44 AD.
Yes.
Okay.
It is the first year of business.
Okay.
Turnover is 75 lakhs.
Okay.
And there is an option. 44 ABA is not applicable because his turnover is below 1 crore. So he is out of 44 ABA. Now the provision in 44 AD says that if you wish, you can opt for 44 AD. So he has wished to opt for 44 AD, offered 8% or 6% profit. So where is the question of audit? There is no question of audit. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Now the second year, the same assessee has 90 lakh rupees as the turnover and is offering only 5%. Whether the tax audit is applicable?
Yes, applicable.
Secretary sir, I am not able to see the chat box. I don't know whether from organizer side anything is to be done. I don't know.
Just a minute, sir. Srinivas.
In second case, people are saying tax audit is applicable.
Yes.
Shanbhag.
Yes, yes.
For your second case, the answer is coming, tax audit is applicable.
Yes. Anybody is saying not applicable?
No, I don't find any answer saying no.
Okay. We will show the answer. Show the answer. Tax audit is applicable under 44 ABE since the provisions of 44 AD4 and 5 are applicable. Now we have seen the 5 clauses A, B, C, D, E. E says that whenever 44 AD4 is applicable to you, then tax audit is compulsory. Now this is a case where the turnover is 90 lakhs. He was in the tax audit in the earlier year. 44 AD4 says that if you are in tax audit in the earlier year and you opt out of it, the year in which you opt out, in that year you have to maintain the books of accounts and get it audited.
सर क्वेश्चन पेपर लीक हो गया.
क्वेश्चन लीक हो गया. हाँ. हमारा ऑर्गेनाइजर हमको चैट बॉक्स नहीं दिखा रहा है यार. इसके लिए ओके ओके अभी आ रहा है. ओके ठीक है. अभी निकाल दो. आंसर निकाल दो. क्वेश्चन पेपर इज विड्रॉन.
दोबारा एग्जाम लीजिए सर. सेकंड
exam. Yeah. No, this May exam is postponed now. Huh? Now it is November. नहीं चैट बॉक्स बाद में करेंगे. शेट्टी सर है ना बताएंगे. Clause 3. Okay, we are through with 2. Now the turnover is 80 lakhs. In the third year, the turnover is 80 lakhs. Net profit is 5 lakhs. That is 4 lakh rupees. क्या है चैट?
Yeah, 03 also
applicable.
applicable बोल के आ रहे हैं Shanbhag.
Yes.
2 answers.
It is applicable because 80 lakhs turnover and he is offering only 5%. Profit is 4 lakh rupees. Therefore, he is liable for tax audit. Now the last question, turnover is only 40 lakhs. धंधा बहुत कम हो गया अभी and profit is 5% and amount of net profit is only 2 lakhs. Now, what is the answer?
4 में बोल रहे हैं कि not applicable. Some of them are saying not applicable. For question number 4, tax audit not applicable below basic exemption.
Exactly. Very good.
Somebody says audit is applicable as within 5-year block. One more answer, tax audit is applicable.
Can we say that his income is below 2.5 lakh, therefore tax audit is not applicable?
Yes, sir, we can say.
No.
We can say that, but 44 AD 4 is coming on our way.
Yes.
But then
4484 is coming on our way because this business is only in the second year. Only the first one is first year. And these three examples, what I am saying is for the second year or third year or the fourth year, which is within 5 years. So once you come out of 44 AD, then you are required to get your accounts audited for a period of next 5 years. On that count, it appears that the assessee will have to go for the tax audit. Who has given this answer?
Mohit Agarwal.
Pratmesh Patil is saying tax audit is applicable, and Suresh Ameria says no.
So Mohit Agarwal rightly said audit applicable as within 5 years block.
What do you say? 44 AD उसने वायलेट किया तो अगले 5 साल तक उसको ऑडिट में जाना पड़ेगा.
in future he has to go for the audit.
See, there is another view here. Section 44 AD, 44 AB D C. उधर जाओ, पीछे जाओ. I'll show you the old slide again. Then we will decide on this. नहीं पहला वाला 44 AB वाला. AB वाला. Yes, friends, you see here. If the provisions of section last one E 44 AD in clause E 44 AD, if provisions of section 44 AD4 are applicable and the income is above the non-taxable limit, so two conditions are to be satisfied before you go for the audit.
Okay.
So it would always be in the fairness not to subject the assessee for an audit when his income itself is below non-taxable limit. Therefore, the right answer for this would be, with all due respect to the people who have put their best of the effort to do best of the answers, for us also it is a exercise to understand more things. Tax audit will not be applicable because the income is below 2.5 lakhs, because 44 AB last clause E also puts another limit that it has to be within the above the non-taxable limit. Can we proceed, Shetty sir?
But herein onwards, for next year, whether he can opt for 44 AD or not, because here the condition of not availing the audit facility, not availing using this audit criteria, is the below the threshold limit income.
No. Whenever your income is a person who has already opted for 44 AD and who is coming out of 44 AD, for in those 5 years, for 5 years maintaining of the books of accounts and getting it audited is compulsory. However, subject to a rider that if his income is below non-taxable limit, then he need not go for tax audit.
Shanbhag, one connected question here.
Yeah.
It is asking whether to maintain books of accounts in fourth case.
Books of accounts, if you, Shetty sir, if you strictly ask me this question in the context of 44 AA, which talks about maintenance of books of accounts, 44 AA makes a distinction between two people. One is the professionals and other than the professionals. Now, other than the professionals is concerned, the limits are so low that if your income is 1,20,000 rupees or more, and if your turnover is 10 lakh rupees or 25 lakh rupees in the case of an individual, maintenance of books of accounts is compulsory. And I think as matured chartered accountant, we need not waste our time on maintenance of books of accounts, because under GST also, the moment it is above 20 lakh rupees, or for the business people it is above 40 lakh rupees, books of accounts anyway we are maintaining. What do you say, Sharma sir?
Yes sir.
बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट टेक्निकली देखा जाएगा 44 AA में बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट मेंटेन करने का कंडीशन क्या है? आपका इनकम 1,20,000 के ऊपर गया या टर्नओवर 10 लाख या 25 लाख के ऊपर गया तो आप बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट मेंटेन करना ही है.
But there are no prescribed books of accounts. However, in case of profession, there are the prescribed books of accounts that you need to maintain.
Yeah. Books are not prescribed does not mean that you need not maintain the books of account, because the entire Income Tax Act talks about product maintenance of books of account, production of books of accounts in the case of scrutiny, etc. And it also defines what is books of account under 212A. So books of accounts have to be maintained. Now you may ask me, a professional वाले को सिर्फ क्यों prescribe किया है, बाकी लोगों को क्यों नहीं किया है? Because there are certain specific requirements. For example, in the case of a doctor, Rule 6F, it says that they have to maintain, apart from cash book, ledger, journal, etc., which others are maintaining, they have to maintain 2 more books of account. Number 1, a register of their inventory of medicines as on the first day of the financial year and as on the last day of the financial year. एक requirement है. दूसरा उनका एक patient register उनको maintain करना है कि every patient whom they have attended उसका नाम लिखना चाहिए और उससे कितना पैसा लिया लिखना चाहिए. It is like a sales register. So that all these cash transactions are captured. That is the intention. What is practically happening is a different thing. So I am answering the question why books of accounts are prescribed for the professionals. Yes, Shetty sir.
Shanbhag, one last question and then we proceed.
Yeah.
With respect to that fourth question only, in question number 4, income from business is less than 2.5 lakhs, but SSC has income of rupees 5 lakhs from other sources. Whether audit is required?
No.
Yes.
No, it's not.
Answer is no, because tax audit is under section 44 AB, which is under the business income chapter, and all audit we are talking about only in relation to the business income. Even though as an auditor, in case of non-corporate assessors, for example, the entire balance sheet we are signing, the entire profit and loss account we are signing, and it contains various other incomes apart from business income also. And we express our opinion about the truth and fairness of those accounts. So
yeah, this has to be. You have to re-examine this possibly, because it says profit from that such business is 8% or 6%, and income of such SSC का बात हो रहा है.
Yes,
2.5 लाख का जो लिमिट है आपको.
No.
Okay. We proceed. Yes.
See, if I apply my logic to the whole thing, एक आदमी का business income 2.5 लाख से नीचे है, उसका काय का ऑडिट करा रहे हो यार? बाकी का इनकम भी अगर होगा तो बाकी का इनकम का ऑडिट के लिए आपके पास प्रावधान है क्या? इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में नहीं है, बिजनेस इनकम के लिए है. तो जिसका इनकम ही 2.5 लाख के नीचे है उसको क्यों सताने का? That should be the logic of,
We proceed. Yes.
Okay, now we come to a professional who is a radiologist, he is a doctor, and his income is gross receipts are 45 lakhs, net profit is 15 lakhs, which is less than 50%. Because he is a radiologist, he must have purchased lot of medical equipments, he must have taken loan from the bank, high depreciation as well as high interest payment. इसके लिए उसका profit सिर्फ 15 ही लाख है, turnover 45 lakhs है. Whether he is required to get the account audited?
Yes.
Answers?
Yes, applicable.
Yes बोल के आ रहे हैं. बहुत सारा आंसर सर yes.
Tax audit is applicable. Says net profit
Yes.
is less than 50%. Very simple. Case study number 4. Assessee is a doctor by profession. उसका एक medicine shop भी है. He has a medicine sale of 80 lakhs, professional receipt of 40 lakhs, net profit offered in the profession is 25 lakhs. If you look at the professional receipts, it is 40 lakhs and profit from profession is 25 lakhs. He is engaged in the medicine sale business also where the turnover is 80 lakhs. Can he opt for 44 AD?
Please answer in chat, please.
Please answer in chat. आपको वापस स्लाइड दिखाना पड़ेगा. उसमें पर्सन लिखा हुआ है. Shetty sir?
No answer is coming yet.
No, not applicable, sir. मतलब he cannot opt 44 AD.
That is your answer or chat box answer?
My
Chat
answer.
box में कोई आंसर नहीं है अभी. Shanbhag. Friends, you can please post whatever is your view.
I will give a little more inputs to them.
Yes.
Professional receipts are 40 lakhs. 50% of that comes to 20 lakhs only. 40 lakhs is below 50 lakhs. Therefore, 44 ADA is possible for them. 44 ADA.
Shanbhag, there is one answer. Yes, he can opt for medicine business under section 4480. That is the answer.
4480 is
Rituja Nursing says no.
Who says
Hima
no?
Vairagi says yes. And for other 44 ADA is applicable. 44 ADA is possible for profession.
Okay.
These are the answers.
Anybody is answering key since the business and profession total is 120? No.
No, that is more confusing now. I mean,
Okay, I will come to the confusion at the end. Okay.
Yes.
Now my answer is, since the profit from the profession is less than 50%, he can opt for 44 ADA. More than 50% he can 44 ADA, no questions about this. Okay. Second one is, he cannot opt for 44 AD since he is a professional as per section 44 AD6. And last, no tax audit since turnover is less than 1 crore. 80 lakhs is the turnover of the medicine business which is below 1 crore. So tax audit is not applicable under 44 AB clause A, right? Yeah. However, if he want to opt for 44 AD, whether he can go for that option? The answer according to me, the technical answer definitely is, since he is a professional, barred from going for 44 AD under section 44 AD6 which we discussed, therefore he is not entitled to go for 44 AD. Sri Hari Garg sir is there in the audience.
2 minutes, sir. Let me check.
Can we unmute him?
Yeah, Bhagwat, please, Bhagwat, Sri Hari Garg sir को add करो panel में.
हाँ, करो.
Because there was some discussion with Sri Hari Garg sir, so if he is there, it will be more value addition. We have to cover a lot of things. This is the last one. No, one more. Is it taking
sir
time?
Garg sir hai kya?
I think sir Garg sir is not in the attending list.
Okay. So let's conclude this, friends, because 44 AD6 specifically says a person who is a professional within the meaning of section 44 AA. Since it talks about a person and that a very person is a doctor who is a professional, he cannot go under 44 AD. This is my technical answer. My further thinking on this prompts me one more thing, that 44 ADA for professionals came subsequently, but 44 AD6 barring a professional to opt for 44 AD was there already in the statute book earlier, which means that a doctor 8% दे के छूट नहीं सकता है, इसके लिए उसको उसमें से बाहर किया था. लेकिन ए डॉक्टर जो है हमारा, ये अपना इनकम पर तो 44 AD के मुताबिक तो टैक्स भर ही रहा है, 25 लाख के ऊपर टैक्स भर रहा है. अगर उसका बिजनेस इनकम अलग है तो उसको 44 AD में रोकने का कोई कारण नहीं बनता है. This is the argument before the assessing officer, but I will never advise any of my friends to take this risk if you have such case, because you will have to really fight pointing out what was the logic of drafting this section, what happened. These are all the appellate matters. Please don't get into that. Plain reading of the section says that a professional cannot go for 44 AD. Therefore, in respect of the 80 lakhs turnover, he cannot offer profits on presumptive basis. ये बात अलग है कि उसका 80 लाख का ही इनकम है, इसके लिए उसको ऑडिट बिडिट नहीं कराना पड़ रहा है, लेकिन वो 8% देख के छूट नहीं सकता है. अगर उसको 8% दिखाना है, उससे कम भी दिखाने का बेसिक दिखा सकता है. He can prepare the books of account, prepare profit and loss account, balance sheet, file form number ITR 3 and get out of it. And let the department ask him question why your profit is 8% or 5%. Can we proceed? Case study number 5. A truck owner is having 2 trucks, each having 15 ton gross weight, offering only 800 rupees per ton. He is required to offer 1,000 rupees per ton. Now this guy is not agreeing for 44 AE. So is the tax audit applicable? Answer the call. Answer is 44 AE. If the profits offered are less than the prescribed limit, tax audit is applicable, even if the income is below non-taxable limit. Now, why this question has been raised, friends, here is the income is only 2,16,000, but that benefit is not given in the case of 44 AE. So even if his income is below non-taxable limit, once you violate the minimum offer of 1,000 rupees per ton, you are required to go for the tax audit. We have a lot of things to cover. We will proceed. इसको skip करो. Okay, truck operator having 10 trucks engaged in hiring of goods carriage, also engaged in the sale of motor spare parts. Turnover is 1.90 lakhs. I want participants to give their answers. Truck operator is having 10 trucks, that means he is under 44 AE. लेकिन उसका एक दुकान भी है मोटर का स्पेयर पार्ट बेचने का, and there his turnover is 1.9 crores. Can he go under 44 AD?
Answer is no, yes. 44 AD not applicable for truck operator. From
Okay.
Purvaja Thakur, no.
Okay. I will take you to the old slide, and this is the third part, which is an eligible business. It says any business is eligible business. Any business is eligible business other than the business of plying, hiring, leasing of goods vehicles referred to in 44 AE. As far as 44 AE business जो है, उसके लिए आपको इधर 44 AD नहीं मिलेगा. All other businesses are eligible. Now the difference between here, the answer is, since he has got 1.9 lakh rupees, 1.9 crore rupees turnover from spare parts sale, and his truck business, he is going under 44 AE. He has no restriction to opt for 44 AD, because eligible business में बोलता है कि any business is eligible, सिर्फ 44 AE business is not eligible. वो business eligible नहीं है, वो business करने वाला eligible नहीं है, ऐसा नहीं लिखा है. Whereas in 44 AD6, वो जो पहला वाला हमारा लेफ्ट हैंड साइड एक्सट्रीम वाला जो है, इधर पर्सन कैरिंग ऑन, पर्सन डूइंग कमीशन, पर्सन डूइंग एजेंसी लिखा है. ये पर्सन स्पेसिफिक है, ये बिजनेस स्पेसिफिक है. दैट इज व्हाई दे हैव क्राफ्टेड दिस सेक्शन लाइक दिस. सो ये बिजनेस को 44 AD का एलिजिबिलिटी है. सिर्फ 44 AE वाला बिजनेस जो है उसको 44 AD में नहीं जा सकता है. दूसरा कोई बिजनेस वही करता रहेगा तो उसको 44 AD में ऑफर करने में कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शन नहीं है.
बट लेकिन सर प्रोफेशन में ये कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं चलेगा, बिकॉज प्रोफेशन में
प्रोफेशन कॉन्टेक्स्ट नहीं चलेगा क्योंकि इट इज स्पेसिफिकली स्टेटेड ओवर देयर. This is the answer for the truck operator under 44 AE. Truck operation is concerned 44 AE. For motor parts business 44 AD. Reason, any business is eligible under 44 AD except the business referred in 44 AE. Let us proceed. We are at 12:40.
Yeah.
Okay. Now friends, just to wrap up this thing, to avoid all sort of any further possible conclusion in the turnover limits, first one is turnover is less than 1 crore. What about the tax audit? Tax audit is not applicable. Very simple. Second, turnover is between 1 crore to 2 crore. 1 crore to 2 crore, the moment the turnover exceeds 1 crore, 44 ABA comes into picture, and therefore tax audit is applicable. However, this assessee has an option to go under 44 AD because the turnover is up to 2 crores. It is an option, I am repeating, it is an option. And once you exercise the option, you need to remain in that house for 5 years. If you come out of that, घर में आपको 5 साल एंट्री नहीं मिलता है, फिर बाहर ही रह के आपको बुक्स अकाउंट बना के ऑडिट कराना पड़ता है, शर्मा जी के ऑफिस में जाना पड़ता है, सब करना पड़ता है. So you have to remember that. Now turnover is between 1 crore to 5 crore. 1 crore exceed हो गया, ऑडिट कराना है. 5 crore तक है, above 1 crore है, लेकिन 5 crore के नीचे ऑडिट कराना है. आपको क्या देखना है? You have to see the 5% cash limit. If he has not violated 5% cash limit, up to 5 crores, he need not go for tax audit. If he violates 5% condition, he has to go for audit. Last one is turnover above 5 crore. कुछ भी नहीं देखने का, आंख बंद करके ऑडिट करने का. Okay, friends, I will quickly take you to Form 3CA. Form 3CA is for the corporate assessees, or rather we can say the assessees who are required to do the audit under the different statute. And Form 3CB is for the person who carries on the business or profession, not being a person referred to in Clause A. Clause A refers where his accounts are required to be audited under some other statute. And Form 3CD, you know, is the annexure to Form 3CA or 3CB. Now we also need to have a look at what is the difference between Form 3C and 3CB as far as the reporting is concerned? It is very interesting if you closely see. What we report in Form 3CA is, 3CA is a case where the books of accounts are already audited under the Companies Act or any other statute where that audit has been prescribed. तो उधर आपके पास ऑलरेडी बैलेंस शीट, प्रॉफिट एंड लॉस अकाउंट, ऑडिट रिपोर्ट सब कुछ ऑलरेडी है. उसका ऑडिटर आप खुद भी हो सकते हो या दूसरा कोई ऑडिटर भी हो सकता है. दूसरा ऑडिटर होता है तो हम लोग उधर लिखते हैं दिस इज ऑडिटेड बाय सो एंड सो ऑन सो एंड सो डेट ऑडिट रिपोर्ट करके. इफ इट इज आवर ओन देन वी राइट आवर ओन नेम. सो व्हाट वी आर रिपोर्टिंग इज the balance sheet, profit and loss account and audit report is annexed. We are saying annexed. Then we say Form 3CD is annexed. Then we say particulars in Form 3CD are true and correct. And last, our observations and qualifications. These are the 4 parts as far as Form 3CA is concerned. Now coming to Form 3CB, इधर कोई दूसरा स्टेट्यूट में और एसएससी को ऑडिट कराने का कोई प्रावधान नहीं है. You are only auditing their books of accounts. That is why you have to express an opinion whether the books of accounts are true and fair. Financial statements are showing true and fair view. Form 3CD is annexed and the particulars given in Form 3CD are true and correct. This is most important. We are saying it is true and correct. The correctness का भी देखना चाहिए. And our observations and qualifications. Now, one question I would like to ask the participant, that are we following the audit report format in SA 700 in case of non-corporate assessees when we are doing a tax audit of a proprietary concern or a partnership firm? Company के लिए तो रहता ही है. SA 700 format says that you have to express an opinion, the basis of your opinion, the responsibility of the management in preparation of the financial statement to see that they are out of any material misstatement, all accounting standards are followed, proper accounting policies have been followed, so on and so forth. And what are our responsibilities? Our responsibility is we have gathered so many of evidences to ensure that the financial statements are free from material misstatement, but we give a reasonable guarantee, we don't give any absolute guarantee. ये सब हम लोग उसमें लिखते हैं. ये जो requirement hai, that is specified under section, I mean SA 700, which is revised. Now the question is whether we are following this for the non-corporate assessees. If you see, the SA 700 deals with the auditor's responsibility to form an opinion on the financial statement. It also deals with the form and content of the auditor's report issued as a result of audit of the financial statement. Now, SA 700 has been prescribed for listed entity, for consolidated financial statements of listed entity, unlisted entity, and most important is non-corporate entity, which means SA 700 is applicable even for the non-corporate entities such as proprietary concern and the partnership firm, and therefore it is necessary for the chartered accountants to follow SA 700 format in reporting. Now you will tell me Form 3CB में उनका खुद का reporting का format है, हमारा report का format कहाँ पर आएगा? You have given an option over there that you can always give your observations and qualifications you can always give. Therefore, it is also a sort of a qualification when you say that you have done your best to verify the evidences that the statements are free from material misstatements, but we are not giving absolute guarantee. All those things are specified under SA 700. Therefore, it is necessary that we must follow that. And Institute's framework of preparation of financial statement is compulsory for all the chartered accountants. The framework for preparation of financial statement is the mother document which the Institute has issued, on the basis of which all the accounting standards have been developed. And following framework for financial statement is compulsory for us. And one of the requirement of this framework is that even in the case of a non-corporate entities, giving previous figures are also required. Most of us don't give the previous year figures in our profit and loss account because this is necessary so that all the stakeholders would be well informed about the organizations, and that is the reason what the framework for financial statement is talking about. Now, one question for you. A new company has been formed on 1st of January 2020. All of you should be ready to now give the answers. A new company has been formed on 1st of January 2020 and its turnover is 6 crores for the period ending 31st March 2020. Only one quarter turnover is there because new company. Now, for this company, whether you have to issue Form 3CA or 3CB. Which form you will use, whether 3CA or 3CB? 3CB. Participants? It's a company.
Then also 3CB.
Yeah, Shanbhag.
Yeah.
Most of the answers are saying it is 3CA and there is a minority answer of 3CB.
Okay, we should go by majority or minority now.
We have to go with the minority.
We have to go with the minority, Shetty sir says. Okay, let me tell you the answer, friends. Under the Companies Act, Section 2, subsection 40 talks about the previous year. And the Companies Act says that in the case of a newly incorporated company, the previous year can be for a period up to 15 months. In the case of a newly incorporated companies, which is incorporated on or after 1st of January, the maximum period for the first financial statement can be up to a maximum period of 5 years. Therefore, in this case, this company will be under the Companies Act preparing a balance sheet, first balance sheet for a period of 15 months, starting from 1st of January 2020 and ending on 31st March 2021. So under the Companies Act, you don't have to prepare a balance sheet till 31st March 2020. So as an auditor, when you do the audit, you may have to do the audit for the first 3 months. Why we should do the audit for the first 3 months? Because under the Income Tax Act, Section 3, which defines the previous year, tells us the previous year of the assessee shall be a period commencing from the date of commencement of the business and ending on the last day of the financial year of that particular year. So here the financial year, I mean the previous year relevant to the assessment year would be for only for 3 months. Now you have to prepare the profit and loss account, you have to prepare the balance sheet, audit report, everything for the period of 3 months. But that balance sheet is not mandated by any other act. Companies Act is not mandating it. Therefore, you are giving Form 3CB, and rightly so, because who will otherwise say that the balance sheet and profit and loss account give the true and fair view? Only under 3CB, you are going to say that it is giving true and fair view. 3CA you cannot use, because 3CA, I told you in the beginning that you are saying I am annexing an audited balance sheet. Where is the audited balance sheet? You don't have. Therefore, it is Form 3CB. Going further, for 31st March 2021, the next year, 2021 financial year, which form we are going to use?
3CB.
Form 3CA or 3CB?
3CA.
Anybody from the audience, please? I mean the participants, please. For the second year, which is the form?
3CA, 3CB, 3CA is majority.
3CA is majority. Okay.
3CA is a majority view.
I really appreciate the the mindful thinking of the people and application of mind. Friends, the correct answer for March 2021 is again 3CB,
Yeah.
not 3CA, because for financial year 2021, under the Income Tax Act, the period is again 12 months only. But the balance sheet which this company would be preparing under the Companies Act is for a period of 15 months. That balance sheet you cannot attach.
Yes.
You cannot pay taxes for the 15 months period. So again you will have to, आपका काम बढ़ गया, fee भी बढ़ गया. Again you will have to prepare another balance sheet from 1st April to 31st March. And since that 12 months balance sheet is not mandated under another Companies Act, therefore it is Form 3CB. वो balance sheet पे आपको, you will have to express your opinion that it shows true and fair view. Next. Okay, penalty you are all aware about. It is 0.5% of the turnover up to a maximum of 1,50,000. Under GST Act, it is 0.25% or 100 plus 100, 200 rupees per day. And there is no maximum cap over there. But fortunately, under the Income Tax Act, there is a maximum cap of 1,50,000. Now, prosecution under Section 276CC for non-filing of the return. Friends, if your tax audit has not been done for any reason, you cannot file the return also. Because if you file the return without a tax audit report, it becomes a defective return under 139(9), and then you need to cure the defect and so many things will happen. Now assume that for any reason you have not filed the return, then there could be a prosecution launched. Of course, Section 276CC says where the assessee has willfully not filed the return. The word used there are, if there is a willful default on the part of the assessee, then you will be subjected to prosecution under 276CC. Therefore, all these years, and the monetary limit was only 3,000 rupees. That means aapka, the taxes that what we have already deducted at source, or the asset tax, all that you have paid, वो सब आपका total tax में deduct करने के बाद आपका balance liability 3,000 के ऊपर है तो ही 276CC का prosecution कर सकते हैं. This 3,000 limit has been now raised to 10,000 rupees. But the most important point was it should be a willful default. Recently, the Delhi High Court has tried a case where the assessee did not file return for 2014-15 and 15-16. And the reason he had was he already had a refund. And for whatever reason, he has not filed the return. And he pleaded before the High Court that I had a refund in my case. And then, for whatever reason, I have not filed the return, but why I should be prosecuted? The court said that the law says the moment your liability is in excess of 10,000 rupees, whether when your law requires that you are required to file the return of income, you have to comply with the law. And since you are not complied with the law, even though you are not required to pay any taxes, then the prosecution launched by the department is in order. So over a period of time, what we are finding is the law is, the courts have also become very stricter in terms of non-filing of the return. Most of us must be having the experience of prosecution notices our clients have received for small defaults, including non-filing of the return. Therefore, one has to be extremely careful. And the last one, and the most important one, is the new provision which came in 2017 is 271(1)(j. It says that furnishing of an incorrect information in the report or the certificate, there is a penalty of 10,000 rupees per report or certificate to be paid by the accountant or the merchant banker or the registered valuer. Now, suppose you make an error in while filing your income tax, Form 3CD, tax audit report, you make a incorrect statement. That incorrect statement can be as simple as you write mercantile system in the case of cash system. That is also an incorrect reporting. Or you have not complied with certain requirements of ICDS. There are some differences between accounting standards as well as the ICDS, which you have not pointed out, that result in an incorrect reporting. All these things will invite a penalty at the rate of 10,000. Gone are the old days where if a chartered accountant has not properly done the audit, CBDT is to inform the institute with an intention that the institute can take disciplinary action. Now the income tax department itself has taken certain powers in its hand that where our members have made any mistake, they can directly charge the penalty also. So one should be mindful about this. Now coming to the last portion of our this thing, I will quickly deal with a few of the clauses under Form 3CD. Since we have handled a lot of questions in the course of discussion itself, I believe at the end there will be lesser questions. Chairman, how much time more we can use?
Sir, it is up to you. We can have.
No, it is not up to me. It is the comfort of the participants.
Half an hour more we can go on.
Okay, I will try to finish it before that. Okay. Because whenever we have question answers, it generally takes time. Okay, friends, I'll take clause 8, indicate the relevant clauses under 44AB under which the audit has been conducted. This is very important because clause 8 requires you to write the subclause 44AB, A, B, C, D, E. Like that you have to mention. So one has to be very careful and see whether you are doing the audit because you have crossed the turnover limit of 1 crore, 5 crore for clause A, or 50 lakh rupees for clause B, or CDE, where the presumptive taxation provisions have been not complied with. Particulars of capital asset converted into stock in trade. Where an assessee converts his capital asset into stock in trade, the reporting requirement is you have to give the description of the capital asset, date of acquisition of the capital asset, what are the cost of acquisition of your capital asset, and amount at which it is converted into stock in trade. As you all know, giving this information itself does not have any implications for the year in which an assessee transfers his capital asset into stock in trade. It does not have any implication because he is doing a transaction with himself, even though under section 45(2), this has been treated as a transfer. This is a transfer under section 45(2), but only the difference is that you don't have to pay the tax on the date of transfer, but you will have to pay the tax at a later date when that asset is actually transferred. When the asset is actually transferred on a later date, there will be two calculations. One is about the capital gains, another is about the business income. So how that calculation is made? You have got a cost for your asset. You can index that cost if it is a long term and find out what is the fair market value as on the date of conversion. On the date of conversion, find out what is your fair market value. The difference between your cost or index cost and the fair market value constitutes a capital gains. And limb 2, your fair market value and the actual sale price of that asset on the later date when it is sold, that constitutes a business income. But as an auditor, you need not bother about this because this is only for our understanding what are the implications of that. But reporting is only on the first window what I have seen over here. If the assessee has converted any capital asset into stock in trade, these details have to be published. Clause 17, a very dangerous clause for any assessee whenever there is a difference between the consideration and the stamp duty value. The sections involved in this are section 43CA and 50C, and of course section 56 to 10, because if there is a difference between the consideration and the stamp duty value, the difference gets subjected to tax not only in the hands of the transferor of that capital asset or the stock in trade, but also it becomes an income in the hands of the recipient. So we should be very mindful about the consequence of transferring an asset, whether it is transferred as a capital asset or a stock in trade. Now, as far as the builder is concerned or a builder developer is concerned, in simple terms, if you want to explain these provisions, that a flat whose market value is 1 crore 10 lakhs, I mean the stamp duty value is 1 crore 10 lakhs, if the consideration shown in the agreement is 1 crore, then this is a transaction which is a subject matter for section 43CA. 43CA says the difference between the market value, I mean the stamp duty value and the consideration is to be liable to be taxed, or in the case of builder rather we can say the sale price would be treated as 1 crore 10 lakhs in the place of 1 crore. Is that clear? Okay. Now couple of riders over there. Two things you have to remember while applying this law. Number one, if there is a difference between the date of agreement for selling that flat and the date of registration. Suppose that 2 years ago that agreement was entered into and it was maybe have registered also for the purpose of bank loan, etc. And now actually the property is ready and it is transferred. The consideration taken by the builder is 1 crore and the market value today at the time of registration is 1 crore 10 lakhs. In this case, since this agreement was entered into 2 years ago, the stamp duty valuation 2 years ago has to be taken and compared and not the current stamp duty value, point number one. Secondly, a difference up to 5% is permitted. That means if your consideration is 1 crore, you take 105% of that consideration. So 105 should be compared with 110. Now in this example, since 110 is higher than 105, entire 10 lakhs should be the extra profit what he will be charging to tax. And it is not only the difference between 105% and the stamp duty valuation. Okay, this is true for whatever true for 43CA is true for 50C also. Now as an auditor, this is what law I explained to you. What is the reporting requirement? He says you give the details of the property, give the address of the property, write the consideration, and write here value adopted, assessed or assessable by the stamp duty authorities. Okay. Now a client may claim that मेरा दुकान तो अंदर के साइड में था, 1 करोड़ में मैंने जो बेचा है वो मुश्किल से 1 करोड़ रुपए मुझे मिला. 1 करोड़ 10 लाख आपका जो स्टैम्प ड्यूटी वैल्यूएशन वो मैं नहीं मानता. फॉर्म 3CD मैं बना रहा हूं ना, मैं इधर 1 करोड़ ही लिखूंगा. आप आपका रिपोर्ट में लिखो, क्योंकि there is a threat that if you write 100 and 110 or 1 crore and 1 crore 10 lakh, that 10 lakh CPC may add as an income. Suppose a client tells you like this, what's going to be your answer? Sharma ji.
Yes, sir.
सपोज क्लाइंट टेल्स यू कि वो आप डिफरेंस दिखाओगे फिर वो उस पर मेरे को टैक्स भरना पड़ेगा. फॉर्म 3CD मैं बना रहा हूँ, आप उसके ऊपर आप रिपोर्ट दे रहे हो 3CB में, आप आपका रिपोर्ट में जो भले चाहे लिखो, लेकिन इधर आप मुझे 1 करोड़ लिखने को दो.
Sir, we will qualify the report. We will qualify this observation.
Qualify the report.
Yes.
Shetty sir, your valued view. My view is, for the sake of time, Shetty sir, I will proceed with your permission. What is asked in the form is, what is the stamp duty, what is the value adopted, assessed or assessable? What is meant by adopted? Adopted means whatever is adopted as per the ready reckoner rate. That is called as adopted stamp value, because they have declared कि A area में A per square meter को A rate है. That they have already declared. That is adopted. What is assessed? Once the document is to be registered and the registrar tells you कि आपको 1 करोड़ 10 लाख के ऊपर stamp duty भरना है, you don't agree with that, fine. You go for an adjudication before the stamp duty authorities and tell them you adjudicate and find out what is the real market value of this property. वो लोग करते हैं. That is called as assessed value. आपने अगर एग्रीमेंट रजिस्टर ही नहीं किया, प्रॉपर्टी पास ऑन कर दिया, पैसा ले लिया, उसको पोजीशन दे दिया, सब कुछ किया, लेकिन आपने रजिस्टर ही नहीं किया, देन द वर्ड असेसेबल, रजिस्टर नहीं करेगा तभी चलेगा, उसका असेसेबल वैल्यू जो है उसको लेकर के हमको टैक्सेशन करना है. दिस इज द इंटेंशन ऑफ लॉ. नाउ हियर एज एन ऑडिटर व्हाट यू आर आस्क्ड इज ओनली टू रिपोर्ट एंड नॉट टू बी जजमेंटल. नाउ इफ योर क्लाइंट सेज दैट मैंने वैल्यूएशन कराया हुआ है अप्रूव्ड वैल्यूअर से, उसका 1 करोड़ का मैं आपको वैल्यूएशन रिपोर्ट लाके देता हूं, नो, because what is asked over here is the stamp duty valuation and not the approved valuer's valuation. If he has gone for adjudication, बात अलग है, otherwise he cannot do this. Is this clear?
सर लेकिन प्रोप्राइटरशिप में ये शो क्यों करेंगे? बिकॉज अगर उसका कैपिटल एसेट्स है एंड वी आर डूइंग द ऑडिट अंडर सेक्शन 44AB, सो हाउ इट इज रेलेवेंट? See, if he has a flat and then he has sold the flat at a lesser value and all, so why this reporting is required?
This reporting is required because the assessing officer wants to know whether the provisions of section 50C in your example for sale of flat 50C applicable होगा, वो उसको वायलेट किया है क्या देखने के लिए आपको रिपोर्ट करने को बोल रहा है.
इसका मतलब कंप्यूटेशन का हम ऑडिट करते हैं, इसका मतलब वी आर डूइंग द ऑडिट ऑफ कंप्यूटेशन नॉट द बिजनेस.
नो 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 नो, इसका डिफरेंस ऑफर करना नहीं करना आपका चॉइस है.
नहीं सर, माय क्वेश्चन इज डिफरेंट. व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू आस्क यू, are we auditing the business or are we auditing the computation of income? See,
no.
we are furnishing this report under section 44AB. Now
yes.
AB is a business section. Now if yes. he has a flat and wherein he has sold at a lesser value than his stamp duty.
When you are assessed, आपका पर्सनल ट्रांजैक्शन होगा तो भी आपको उसमें टैक्स तो भरना ही है ना.
हाँ,
टैक्स तो भरना ही है. दिस इज एन एडिशनल रिपोर्टिंग दे आर आस्किंग.
Okay.
This is an additional reporting. Next. Okay, another important and most controversial question now is about employees' contribution to the provident fund, correct. Employees' contribution to ESI or any retirement related funds. It says whether employees' contribution to PF, ESI, superannuation fund, etc. can be claimed as allowable deduction if paid on or before the due date of filing of the return under 131. Employer contribution के लिए कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, एम्प्लॉई कंट्रीब्यूशन का प्रॉब्लम है. क्यों प्रॉब्लम है? सबसे पहले अपना सामने आता है सेक्शन 224(10) which defines income and it says that employees contribution to any of these funds is an income. वो पहले ही बोल देता है कि एम्प्लॉई कंट्रीब्यूशन आपके पास हाथ में आया वो आपका इनकम है. आगे जाके बोलता है 36(1)(5) में the deduction of employees contribution is allowable subject to remittance on or before the due date specified in the respective acts. प्रोविडेंट फंड का 15 तारीख तक आपको भरने का है, ईएसआई का 20 तारीख तक भरने का है, और रेस्पेक्टिव डेट तक अगर आप भरोगे तभी आपको डिडक्शन मिलेगा, बिकॉज सेक्शन 36 टॉक्स अबाउट द डिडक्शंस. So there it becomes clear that employees contribution, if it is not paid before the due date specified in the Provident Fund or ESIC Act, then you will not be eligible. Now we come to reporting clause number 20B, which says details of contribution received from employees for various funds as referred in section 36(1)(5)(a). उसमें 43B का, if you see that clause B in 43B, it says any sum payable by the assessee as an employer by way of contribution to the provident fund. Please note the words again. Section 43B says any sum payable by the assessee as an employer. मतलब as an employer उसको जो भरने का है वो अगर उसने 139(1) का ड्यू डेट तक उसने भर दिया तो उसको अलाउबल है. This is what this section says. Now the question is, एम्प्लॉई का जो कंट्रीब्यूशन जो एम्प्लॉयर ने भरा है, एम्प्लॉई का कंट्रीब्यूशन एम्प्लॉयर ने भरा है लेकिन ड्यू डेट के पहले भरा है, तो उसको हम 43B में कवर कर सकते हैं क्या? ऑन द प्रिटेक्स्ट दैट एनी सम पेएबल बाय द असेसी एज एन एम्प्लॉयर, क्योंकि इवन इफ ही हैज पेड द कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ द एम्प्लॉई, इट इज पेड बाय द असेसी एज एन एम्प्लॉयर, and therefore the benefit of 43B should be given. This is the question. Now the answer for this question is, this is a controversial matter because in India different courts have given different judgments on this. One argument which was made before the High Court, which the High Court has accepted in few of the cases, is under section 29 and 30 of the Provident Fund Act. Section 29 says that an employer shall make contribution as an employer's contribution as well as employee's contribution by a particular date to the Provident Fund Commissioner. What it says? Employer should pay his own contribution as well as the employee's contribution to the Provident Fund Commissioner by 15th, and then he should recover the employee's contribution from his salary. ऐसा लिखा हुआ है. उसका मतलब क्या हो गया? प्रोविडेंट फंड कमिश्नर ये चाहता है कि पहला तुम एम्प्लॉय और आपका हमारे पास भर दो, फिर तुम रिकवरी करो. सो एम्प्लॉय का कंट्रीब्यूशन उसको जब वो कंट्रीब्यूट करता है, इट इज इन द नेचर ऑफ द कंट्रीब्यूशन मेड बाय हिम एज एन एम्प्लॉयर ओनली, इन द कैपेसिटी ऑफ एम्प्लॉयर ओनली इज मेकिंग द कंट्रीब्यूशन, एंड देयरफॉर द आर्गुमेंट इज द अमाउंट दैट इज पेड बाय द असेसी इज एज एन एम्प्लॉयर, एंड देयरफॉर 43B इट शुड कवर एंड इट शुड बी अलाउड. ये आर्गुमेंट किया था और इस आर्गुमेंट के हिसाब से बहुत एसेसी को रिलीफ मिला हुआ है. बहुत सारे कोर्ट्स ने इसको मना किया हुआ है. ये कंट्रोवर्शियल आइटम है, लेकिन दिस इज ओनली फॉर द सेक ऑफ आवर नॉलेज. दिस हैज नथिंग टू डू विद आवर टैक्स ऑडिट, बिकॉज टैक्स ऑडिट में आपको उधर एक कॉलम है, एम्प्लॉई कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना है, उसका स्लाइड एम्प्लॉई कंट्रीब्यूशन कितना है, क्या डेट में दिया हुआ है, और वो सीपीसी वाला डायरेक्ट ऐड कर देगा. उसमें कोई thereafter you ask for rectification, if he does not agree you go for the appeal, file gets transferred to the your jurisdictional officer, उधर जाके आपको जो करना है करो, बात की बात है. लेकिन as an auditor you have no choice, you have to give the employees contribution and its dates, and the addition will also follow. Next. Okay, whether any amount is to be included as an income chargeable under the head income from other sources under section 56(2)(10). 56(2)(10) talks about three things. One is any money sum received in the form of money, if it exceeds 50,000 rupees in aggregate in a year, the moment it exceeds 50,000 rupees, the entire amount is taxable. Second, it talks about the immovable properties. आपको कोई immovable property फ्री में मिल गया without consideration, उसका stamp duty value is taxable. आपको कोई immovable property stamp duty value से कम में मिला, वो difference it is taxable. And last one is other than immovable properties. आपको कोई other than immovable property मिला, तो उसका fair market value जो है और आपने जो कंसिडरेशन पेमेंट किया है उसका डिफरेंस में आपको टैक्स भरना है. फ्री में मिला होगा तो उसका फेयर मार्केट वैल्यू पर आपको टैक्स भरना है. एंड देन इट्स गिव्स दिस लिस्ट ऑफ प्रॉपर्टीज व्हिच आर अदर देन इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टीज. इट डज नॉट से मूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी, इट सेज प्रॉपर्टीज अदर देन इमूवेबल प्रॉपर्टी. इट सेज शेयर सिक्योरिटीज, पेंटिंग्स, ज्वेलरी, स्कल्पचर्स, आर्कियोलॉजिकल कलेक्शन, वर्क ऑफ आर्ट, ड्राइंग्स, बुलियन. नेक्स्ट. Now A received a cash gift of 1 lakh on the occasion of marriage of his son. What is the taxability of cash gift in the hands of A?
Not taxable.
A received a cash gift of 1 lakh rupees on the occasion of marriage of his son.
इसमें दोनों आंसर आ रहा है शानबाग.
हाँ.
Somebody says taxable, not taxable on the occasion of marriage, taxable, not taxable.
Okay,
not
quickly.
taxable is majority.
I'll go to
Only
the answer.
for son it is exempt.
Yeah.
Somebody says it is exempt only in the hands of son.
I'll go to the answer.
Yeah.
What is stated in the law is, on the occasion of your own marriage, if you receive any gift, it is completely taxable.
Yeah.
On the occasion of your son, if you receive, then the next question is, have you received it from your relative or non-relative? If it is non-relative, 50,000 ka limit hai in aggregate. More than one non-relative put together 50,000 limit. Relative है तो exempt है. Relative का definition में आना चाहिए. Relatives में spouse, father, mother, brother, sister, lineal ascendant, descendant, member of an HO वगैरह वगैरह है, जो section 56 में लिखा हुआ है. तो वो आपका लिस्ट में से कोई रिलेटिव ने आपको दिया हुआ है तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. एक ही इश्यू ध्यान में रखना चाहिए कि आप गिफ्ट दिखाओगे तो आपको ये प्रूव ही करना पड़ेगा देने वाले को देने का कैपेसिटी है, उसका इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न भी दिखाना पड़ेगा, उसने भी गिफ्ट दिया हुआ दिखाना पड़ेगा, ये सभी चीजें हैं. अदरवाइज इफ यू रिसीव ए गिफ्ट फ्रॉम ए रिलेटिव देयर इज नो प्रॉब्लम जनरली. इफ इट इज फ्रॉम ए नॉन रिलेटिव, लिमिट इज 1 लाख, आई मीन लिमिट इज 50,000 rupees. B received a motor car worth 10 lakh rupees as a gift. This B must be Shetty sir only. B received a motor car worth 10 lakh rupees as a gift from his friend, and then friend should be me. Taxability of the gift in the hands of Mr. B. Suppose I gift a car to Shetty sir. Whether Shetty sir has to pay tax on that? Answers?
अदर देन मूवेबल में ये कार
Taxable, not taxable, दोनों आ रहा है शानबाग.
दोनों आ रहा है. Okay, go back to the list and show them the list. Yeah, friends.
Taxable for B.
The correct answer is it is not taxable.
बिकॉज कार नहीं है इस लिस्ट में.
कार ये लिस्ट में नहीं है. कार नहीं है, स्कूटर नहीं है, मोटरसाइकिल नहीं है,
तो सही है सर. फिर तो
कंप्यूटर भी नहीं है, लैपटॉप भी नहीं है.
तो बहुत अच्छा है फिर तो ये.
शर्मा जी, if you go to US, bring a laptop and give it to your friend, no problem.
Okay sir, okay.
Okay, next. Okay friends, small changes that have taken place which are relevant for this assessment I want to point out. Government, to give boost to the automobile industry, has come out with an amendment in the law to give higher depreciation. If you are buying any motor car anytime in this year, that is from 23rd August to 31st March 2020, जिसका हम लोग अभी ऑडिट करने वाले हैं, वो पीरियड में किसी ने गाड़ी लिया होगा तो 15% के बजाय उसको 30% डेप्रिसिएशन मिलेगा. और if the assessee has purchased any motor bus, motor lorries or taxis etc. in the same period for hiring business, hiring, leasing etc. running them, वो business के लिए लिया होगा तो उसको 30% के बजाय 45% डेप्रिसिएशन मिलेगा. So this is a thing which we have to bear in mind. A acquired fixed assets, depreciation से सिलसिले में एक क्वेश्चन और है मेरा. A acquired fixed asset, maybe some machinery, and incurred transportation expenses of 35,000 rupees in cash. This amount is capitalized, but whether it can be taken for actual cost under section 43. एक मशीनरी मैंने खरीदा, मे बी आई इम्पोर्टेड ए मशीनरी, नावा सेवा से मेरा फैक्ट्री में आया, ट्रांसपोर्टर को 35,000 रुपए कैश में दिया, जिद कर रहा था मैं चेक नहीं लेता हूं, तो क्या इम्प्लीकेशन है इसका?
48 की लिमिट है ना सर अभी, तो नहीं, वो ट्रांसपोर्टर के लिए रूल है.
क्या आंसर आ रहा है शेट्टी सर?
No.
नो इज द करेक्ट आंसर. फर्स्ट थिंग इज 40A3 में कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है क्योंकि उधर डिसअलाउंस नहीं होगा. जैसा 10,000 रुपए का लिमिट है उसके बजाय ट्रांसपोर्टर के लिए 35,000 का लिमिट है, वहां कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. लेकिन सेक्शन 43B बोलता है कि आप 43 बोलता है एक्चुअल कॉस्ट ऑफ द एसेट जो डिफाइन करते हैं, उधर वो बोलता है अगर आप कोई भी एक्सपेंसेस 10,000 के ऊपर कैश में करोगे तो वो कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर पर आपको डेप्रिसिएशन नहीं मिलेगा. So the change in the law is, earlier this 10,000 limit was hitting only for the revenue expenditure. Now it is hitting capital expenditure also. You are denied the benefit. तो आपका कोई क्लाइंट का जब भी आप ऑडिट करते हो तो आपको फिक्स्ड एसेट अकाउंट में देखना पड़ेगा कि वो मशीनरी इंस्टॉलेशन के लिए, ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए, इरेक्शन के लिए या कोई कंसल्टेंसी कोई भी उसमें कैश में पैसा दिया होगा 10,000 के ऊपर पर पर्सन, देन it will be not to be counted for the purpose of calculation of depreciation. ये बिल्डर लोग जो एडवांस हम जो देते थे वो फोरफिट करते थे अगर if you have they are not complied with the further payment. A clause 29A says whether any amount is to be included as income chargeable under the head income from other sources referred to in 56(2)(9). To give you a general idea, suppose in builder you go and pay 5 lakh rupees and book a flat, and then subsequently you are not able to take the transaction forward. He forfeits that amount. That 5 lakh will become his income, and he has to offer it to tax. This was an existing law. But there was also a law which said that suppose that you are selling your house or you are selling your office or any other capital asset you are selling, एंड आपने किसी के साथ सौदा किया, 5 लाख रुपए का आपको टोकन पैसा मिला, बाद में वो ट्रांजैक्शन हुआ नहीं है, 5 लाख रुपए आपने फॉरफिट कर दिया. Prior to 2016 the law was that 5 lakh rupees you can reduce from the cost of your asset, and on the reduced cost and the ultimate selling price you have to pay the tax. The government became more greedy. They said that no, hereafter we will not allow you to reduce that 5 lakh rupees from your cost of the asset. The moment you forfeit that 5 lakh rupees, you have to pay the tax on that. This is the amendment. Therefore, don't bother about these four features when your client is a builder developer who is offering actually the business income. You consider whether it is a case of a capital asset transfer where some transaction was to be entered into, some money was received as a token or an advance and it has got forfeited. Next. Yeah, friends, as far as 269 SS is concerned, I don't want to spend time, except that I want to say that 269 SS covers not only loan and deposit in excess of 20,000 for reporting, it also talks about the specified sum. And specified sum means any sum of money receivable, whether as an advance or otherwise, in relation of transfer of an immovable property, whether or not the transfer has taken place. Here again, you know, the logic behind this section is, particularly this builder community, they were showing lakhs of rupees, crores of rupees, you know, the cash money as advance received against various units which they were under construction. And then they were getting out of this 269 SS saying that it is neither a loan nor a deposit. Therefore, government brought this section saying what is meant by specified amount. आप immovable property transfer करने के सिलसिले में कोई भी पैसा अगर लेते हो, it is specified sum. वो अगर आप 20,000 के ऊपर non-acceptable form में means other than account pay check, DDs or this electronic transfers के form में लेते हो, that means bearer check, cash, everything is covered in that. Then it will be liable for 269 SS, and you know 269 SS is not going to add anything to your income, but it is proceeding to collect 100% penalty for whatever the amount you have taken as a specified sum. This is again for the repayment of this thing. We'll skip this. The same thing is applicable for repayment. This is also an old section, does not require much of a discussion. Yeah, the last section probably that we will discuss in this discussion is the 269 ST. 269 ST has been brought into the statute book from Finance Act 2017 to curb again the cash transactions, and the limit prescribed of 2 lakh rupees. And please understand that this 2 lakh rupees, if you receive either in the form of cash or check or DD, which is not an account payee check, the provisions of section 269 ST will be applicable. Number one. Number two, this section applies both for capital as well as revenue receipts. That is your cash sales, your gifts, donation, everything will get covered under 269 ST. They don't be under the impression that only in relation to the sales this is applicable. It is applied to gifts also. It applies to every type of the receipt which is in the form of a cash or the bearer check or the DD. Only the exemption is if you are doing any cash withdrawal from the bank. That is also a cash receipt from the bank. But there is no violation of 269 ST. For that, CBDT has issued a circular. And if there is a contravention of this section, then 100% penalty will be applicable. Now, what does this section say? The section has three limbs, friends. It says that on aggregate amount received from a person in a day, If it exceeds, if it is 2 lakhs or more, 2 lakhs is included, 2 lakhs or more, then 269 SS is violated. The example is, suppose that a jeweler is your client, assessee is a jeweler, and he raises a invoice of 4 lakh rupees for selling a necklace. Now you have gone there and he says that I cannot accept 2 lakhs or more in cash. So you give him an idea कि ऐसा करो 4 रिसीट बनाओ. तो 10 फरवरी 2020 को 4 रिसीट बन गए 4 लाख रुपए में, 1-1 लाख का 4 रिसीट बन गए. Whether it is possible to come out of this section? Answers? Obviously no. Obviously no, because it says that the provisions of section 269 SS will be applicable, because in a day the aggregate amount received is from a person is exceeding 2 lakh rupees, 2 lakhs or more. इधर 4 लाख पैसा आया हुआ है, इसके लिए 269 SS applicable होगा. We will take this next example. यही 4 लाख रुपया में, this is the next example. Yeah. यही 4 लाख रुपया उसने सेम डे को नहीं दिया पैसा. 10 तारीख को जाके 1 लाख रुपए दिया, 12 तारीख को जाके और 1 लाख रुपए दिया, 15 तारीख को जाके 1 लाख रुपए दिया और 16 तारीख को. तो इधर पर डे में तो 2 लाख का वायलेशन नहीं है. इधर 269 SS ST एप्लीकेबल होगा क्या?
नो, सेम इनवॉइस बोल रहे हैं. वन आंसर इसका.
सेम इनवॉइस 4 लाख का मैंने आज खरीदी किया, उसको 1 लाख आज दिया और बाकी का 1 लाख अलग अलग दिन में दिया. तो 269 ST एप्लीकेबल होगा क्या? क्या आंसर है?
Yeah, single transaction, so violation is there.
Violation is there because it is not only per person per day in aggregate, it also in relation to one transaction also. तो एक ट्रांजैक्शन आपका 2 लाख का ऊपर है, उसका पैसा आप एक इंस्टॉलमेंट लो या 50 इंस्टॉलमेंट में लो तो इट विल गेट कवर्ड अंडर 269T. इसका भी तीसरा लिंब है. तीसरा लिंब बोलता है कि इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ द ट्रांजैक्शन रिलेटिंग टू वन इवेंट और ओकेजन फ्रॉम ए पर्सन. Now let us say a company books a hall for some annual function for their employees, and hall charges are 1,50,000 rupees. Food is 1,30,000 rupees. Decoration, photography, videography, everything put together say 1,20,000 rupees. Total is 3 lakh rupees. They might have raised one bill or they might have raised different bills. You might have paid this money in one shot or you might have paid it in different days. So to not to violate 2 lakhs limit, you might have paid this money of 1,50,000 separately in a day, 130 अलग दिन, 120 अलग दिन, ऐसा अलग अलग दिन में इसका पेमेंट हो गया. तो 269 ST का वायलेशन होगा?
Yes, बोल रहे हैं. There is violation. Same event, so violation is there.
It is the same event. So here the amount has to be seen qua event or an occasion. एक ही occasion का ये बिलिंग है, इसको सिर्फ अलग अलग स्प्लिट किया गया हुआ है. इसके लिए आपको ये occasion और event का टोटल बिल अमाउंट देखना है. That is 3 lakh rupees, which is above 2 lakh rupees. और इसको अगर चेक में नहीं पेमेंट हुआ, इसको कैश में या बैरर चेक में पेमेंट हुआ, तो 269 ST एप्लीकेबल होगा और उसका 100% पेनल्टी का प्रोविजन भी लग जाएगा. Yeah. Now, what is the interplay between 269 ST and 56.210? I'll give you an example. Very interesting. A gets married to B, receives cash gift from relatives worth 10 lakhs. Each person gifted cash less than 2 lakhs. Applicability of 269 ST. Our provisions of section 56.210 are applicable. शादी हो गया. Aggregate gifts received from relatives. Please note the word relatives.
No, received from different persons, so it should not be taxable under 260. No violation. No, since occasion of marriage and received from relatives.
Yes. Since the
not
cash
applicable.
are received on the occasion of marriage, they are not taxable under section 56.210. Okay. And 269 ST mentions in respect of transactions relating to one event or occasion from a person. That is, the restriction is one person per event. or occasion. 269 ST will not be applicable since the cash gift received from a single person is less than 2 lakh rupees. This is actually a planning. Those who are all going to get their children married, please note this. Suppose in the above example, cash gift from certain persons is about 2 lakhs. Relatives में problem.
Applicable.
Suppose in this example,
Yeah.
some of them have paid more than 2 lakhs. 269 ST तो लगना ही वाले हैं, because you know it is for that occasion and the limit of 2 lakhs has been contravened. However, since these are the relative gifts, at the beginning only we have said that this money has been received from the relatives, the defined relatives. So even if it is more than 2 lakhs, 56 to 10 is there is no problem. Except that he should be able to prove that the people who have given the gift are capable of giving and it is reflected in the returns. Next. Yeah, Sharma ji,
Yes, sir.
I have exhausted half an hour, and ICDs I am not able to cover because you know we had a lot of discussion. Maybe at some other time we can do. So friends, we could cover what is 44 AB to ADAE, etc., and various case studies you could look into in this 2.5 hours which we have spent with you. Penalty provisions we discussed. Reporting in 3CA, 3CB we could cover, and we could also cover some of the important provisions of reporting under 3CD. And thank you very much for your patient listening, and thank you very much. I have enjoyed talking to you, even though the enjoyment is not as much as it should be talking to you in the hall, but something is definitely better than nothing. So I thoroughly enjoyed. If you have enjoyed half, then what I have enjoyed, my day is done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Shanbhag, we will just spend a few minutes on one or two questions which we could not cover earlier.
Yes.
One is whether drawings in cash to be ignored for the purpose of that 5 crore limit of tax audit.
Yes.
Now, I think the answer could be in case of a proprietary firm where we are saying that introduction of capital to be ignored, so drawings also to be ignored.
Yes.
In case of a firm, we say that contribution of capital has to be accounted as receipts, therefore drawings also to be accounted as payments.
Correct.
Such payments.
Yes, yes.
The other issue was one professional 18 lakhs is the gross income, profit is 6 lakhs. Whether it requires audit under section 44 AB subsection B. Answer is yes.
B.
Yes, isn't it?
ABB.
Correct.
No, it is below 50 lakhs, no sir.
No, below 50 lakhs, it is 18 lakhs is the receipt and his income is only 6 lakhs.
हाँ, वो D में होगा, क्योंकि since he has followed 50%, he will be required to make it audited, but under D.
You are right. Achha, there was one more view from Sarveshwar Sharma ji.
Yes.
That they will do the accounts of a company when it is formed on 1st January 2020. They will have an accounts under Companies Act also for 3 months and 12 months. He was saying like that, but that may not be allowed. I think Companies Act is not giving you an option to choose your previous year, isn't it?
I think
your previous year shall and, you know, you can just confirm it, Shanbhag.
And what I believe is if that company wants to prepare the balance sheet for first 3 months and get it audited, there is no restriction under the law. Probably that section 2, we will check it. Just check for 240.
You see whether the word shall is coming in that previous year for a company.
The company may likha hoga udhar. The company's
आप देख के confirm करिए.
Of 15 months up to a maximum period of 15 months.
Only
it is not compelling. Sarveshwar ji, I think
we will confirm to members about the Sarveshwar Sharma ji's query. We will answer it. Now 141.3 Shanbhag, the limit of indebtedness by a such auditor or his relative in excess of 5 lakhs only, there is a disqualification. One distinction you have to make.
Please say that again, sir.
Section 141.3 of the Companies Act, where there is a disqualification to be an statutory auditor.
Yes.
The indebtedness of an auditor or his relative should be, if it is in excess of 5 lakhs, then only he will be disqualified. In case of other than companies, the limit for relatives is 1 lakh.
Yes.
For auditor, there is no limit. In case of a non-company, if he is indebted for any amount, he is disqualified to be an auditor.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. Yes.
Okay, I think we have covered almost all the queries.
Yes,
I
sir.
think I thank all the participants for your feedback and quick answers. And it was a very good session, Shanbhag, and I think we all enjoyed it. I hand over to chairman or whoever is concluding the session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shetty sir.
As a token of regard and respect to our honorable speaker, we should show our hand like clapping, because there is no physical clapping is required. So now I will request to our vice chairman Sanjay Bhujbal ji to give a formal vote of thanks on behalf of the branch.
Chairman sir, my a chartered accountant in my office, Riya Gupta, has done lot of research and lot of effort in preparing these slides. She also deserves some.
Thank you very much, Riya. And
we clap to her also.
Yes, we will clap to her also.
Yes.
Okay, now we should go with the concluding remarks. Thank you, Shanbhag sir. Thank you, Shetty sir. All the past chairmen who are on their screen, all the participants. Guys, whenever we think about the seminar on tax audit, and we come to the first name, that is Shanbhag sir. There is no other alternative for MUMBAI branch for the tax audit seminar. Shanbhag sir has explained all about the tax audits, what is do's and don'ts, in a very simple and lucid manner. It is a very quiet, live and interactive session. Sir has also explained about the turnover limits of the tax audits and other various related provisions related to tax audits. Sir, thank you very much for spending your valuable time for our NAVI Mumbai branch. On behalf of the NAVI Mumbai branch and all the participants and attendees, I propose a very hearty vote of thanks. And please, sir, whenever we call you, please give us a cooperation as we always give us.
Sir,
thank you very much.